Hit it.
Shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? Early in the morning.
Hi, welcome to the Fifer's Dating 991. I'm Rocky, also known as Davy Jones. That's Gilly the Sailor and Walter the Chief. And welcome to another episode of the Fifer's. Who would like to begin?
Well, I think the biggest thing that on everybody's topic, we'll be doing a little bit of opinion here, is going to be the LA wildfires going on. I wouldn't even say wildfires, but the actual city burning to the ground. Um, you have a lot of people concerned about this. And if you get ground, look at this fire that's going on, it's absolutely crazy. Hold on, I got a video that I'll share with this one.
It has burned all the timbers. That is true. All the wood's been burning.
And that's California's own damn fault, too, because they don't manage their forest. They haven't for decades.
There you can see, a couple guys on some motorbikes going through, and you can see the actual wind. You're not seeing a lot of this coming from, news agencies. But this is what the ground looks like right now as it's going on. Just absolutely devastating fires that people aren't being held accountable for.
And when you got those high winds right there, you just gotta let everything burn. All you can do is pretty much fire breaks, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because you're never gonna break that triangle. You don't kill it. It has to burn itself out.
Putting the fire out is pretty important, but you have to have water for that kind of stuff, don't you?
Just a little bit of water.
Yes, because it can become steam if you spray it on top of the water.
I just like when someone trying to say, well, you can't just dump in water on it, vaporize it. No, you got to dump water on it, people. You got to create that steam. That's one thing we learned. We was going through firefighting academy there in Washington State on the five.
Hey, that's true. That is true.
The Trident facility was set up with a mock-up engine room with straight up real fuel fires. Like they weren't playing with no propane back in the day. That was actual F-76 diesel fuel. What it would actually look like. And remember that big ass steel plate that was above one of the fire pits? That was where that direct steam idea was when you put that solid flow on that solid stream. That bitch hit that thing, it was like, poof, and you were like, wait, that thing went out that quick? So, and that was important because we were on a steel structure. Yep, steam works just as fine as you get it angled in there. Telling me that water won't hit it because it's so hot.
That's crazy because we've trained doing that stuff on the Fife and the firefighting schools. What kind of madness are they talking about?
They're all crazy. Or you could put dirt on it if you can get in the right place.
But it's not a wound, so you don't want to rub dirt on it. You want to throw it on there. Don't rub dirt in it.
I back to this guy, man. I really do. Like this is where training has been leading to. Like, check this guy out. They're trying to put this fire out with some dirt because they ain't got no water. I mean, dirt will work, but you got to at least put it in the right place. I feel bad for this guy. Look at this. Woo! Take ass out. I feel bad for that guy. I mean, didn't even come close to where he needed to drop it at. Ends up injuring personnel because he doesn't know how to do it. And you didn't see any wind taking it. He was coming in steady as she goes, just like a ship does, steady as she goes. Fucking drops dirt on him. Fucking insane. I mean, what are you guys' opinions on everything that's going on with it?
They reap what they sow. Plain and simple. They've been voting for liberal Georgia for how many decades now?
A long time. A really long time, it seems.
And even Trump wanted to bring down water, so they got water. And Newsom said no, for the fishes. That was back in 19. He saved a little fishy, but he fucked his fucking people by not having no water for firefighting issues.
The fucking smelt that nobody fucking eats. What is
And
it?
the bad thing is too, fucking how far away from the ocean is that? Not very far, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they're dumping all.
They could upscale the technology that the Navy's been using for fucking decades, or turn seawater into drinkable water or firefighting water. If they're worried about the salt contaminating the tanks and all that, the
Yeah.
technology's out there. How you think we drank out to sea? We didn't have water loaded. We made our own water, starting with the evap, steam evap on the 5, and then later on the new ships got reverse osmosis.
Which
And
makes water taste like shit. It's not the same as an EVAP, baby. I'm
no,
telling you.
it's not, but it's still drinkable.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we made our own water for fucking drinking. Firefighting and fucking boiler for the boilers too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's technology's out there. All they gotta do is ramp it up, scale it up.
And even then, you don't even have to desalinate fucking firefighting. Or look at the fire pumps we had on board in every ship. I mean, it's just straight salt water. I mean, just as much as you can bring in. What are we at? 2,000 gallons a minute at what, 150 psi coming out there? Is that what it is, Davy Jones? I can't remember exact number.
But the fact is, and those pumps never corroded because we did maintenance on them too.
Yeah, they never ate themselves. They made, and you tell me you can't put pumps that big in to move it? That's bullshit.
And there's bigger pumps out there than what we used on the 5.
Yeah.
I mean, same way with our seawater cooling, right? You know, for the generator stuff came directly from the fucking sea. But we had to clean the coolers out constantly, you know, but still.
Yeah, but
it always worked perfectly.
It's still a supplementary, especially if you're on the coastline. I don't understand why we haven't set the coastline up to move seawater in these areas. I mean, you're talking, what do we got? 100 miles inland, if that you need to cover. I mean, they put a water pump station in down the road from me. You know, it took them about a year. And these guys in California, got billions of dollars to put these storage tanks in? This guy was saying like millions of acres of water that can be stored underground. You know, that these storage facilities are supposed to be used for. They didn't spend a goddamn piece of money on it. Where'd that money go?
Somebody's pockets.
That's what I think. Somebody's definitely got it in their pocket somewhere. It's California's had infrastructure problem when I was stationed out there. Fuck, I remember when they were talking about that high-speed rail that they were building from Victorville to Las Vegas. And you would go into Vegas, man, and you would see it. Like you would see the T-pillars for the high-speed rail going through there and nobody working on it. They just placed the pillars down and called it a day. They barely started on the huge parking garage that was supposed to go there too. Supposed to be a huge thing. They didn't even get that. That was 2010. That's 14 years later. They still ain't finished it. And they put billions of dollars into it.
Billions of dollars.
Billions on billions. I mean, it's absolutely mismanagement. I mean, can you imagine being on the shit and mismanaging something like this?
Oh, everyone's asses would be reamed. They'd be drawn and quartered for that shit.
From the captain all down to the lowly sailor. Would be fucking ass would be had. Plain simple.
What about your husband's in the wrong spot if he's in a building on fire and I'm a firefighter and I can't get him out because I can't carry him? What kind of shit is that?
Yeah, you shouldn't be there in the first place. Are you fucking kidding me?
We used to train with dummies. I think they were at least 150 pounds.
At least
150 to 200, depending on where we was trained at.
Yeah, and that was trained across the board. That was female, male in the Navy to do the fireman's carry, how to do it properly, and to move individuals on the ship. Because that was what the Trident facility was all about. They put you on that live fire, and then you see what really happens when people are in the middle of a fire. That's where you get your shit. Because like me, because that was still during the OBA days, you know, the old chemical scrubber style. And I knocked the winds out of my bag and broke seal because of the sweat. So when I was done, I had two fucking long ass streaks of fucking black marks that I was breathing in smoke with. So people don't realize fucking how dangerous it is and how hard it is for everybody to fight. And they're fucking we had everything we needed. These guys are fucking hand tied in their back, one leg cut off.
Yep.
I pulled out.
That's pure fuckery.
Yeah, pure fuckery of that.
That's what they get for voting fucking liberal. You know, far left policies.
Which is kind of bullshit because if you looked at the counties this time around for the 2024 election, there was a lot of red fucking counties. It just ended up turning into LA, same way it is out here in Virginia.
Yep.
You got fucking
Frisco.
up north in Alexandria. You got Virginia Beach and Norfolk. Those are like the blue areas. You look the rest of the fucking state, it's all red. But yet it goes blue
Yep.
because these high capacity
Populated areas.
yeah, the populated areas themselves. So it's like you get fucked if you live out in the country because of these city fucking dwellers that live in these concrete fucking jungles, man.
Well, it's kind of the same way here in Missouri because you got St. Louis, Kansas City, and then you got Columbia right in the middle that fucking goes blue all the time. But the rest of the state's fucking red. But
Yeah.
luckily, we're still a red state. You know, luckily for now, anyways.
Yeah, so I mean, I know they voted for it in some of these areas, but you know, a lot of California is fucking not, man. It's red. Hell, when I was in San Diego, if you go towards Verona or Ramona or Julian, any of those places, you're in the country, dude. I was driving over cattle stops, you know, where they put the bars in
Yep.
the road, the gaps so the cattle can't cross.
Yep.
That shit was out there, and I was only 10 miles out of San Diego.
Yep.
They had that shit. They had dirt car tracks, man. All these eco warriors, man. You go 10 miles out, you got a drag track in Verona, California, which is like on a mountaintop, and they're out there racing. It's like, come on, man. This is all bullshit, like complete bullshit out there.
But but those guys that vote Republican or conservative, right, or independent, right, they get lumped into the liberal shit because they have to deal with what LA does, Frisco does, you know, how they vote.
Yeah.
You know, they have, I mean, and it's time for those people to fucking call their leaders out. Tell them, get the fuck out. Can't do the job, get out.
In the words of Donald Trump, you're fired.
It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge. If I can.
All right, so do you sailors have any good sea stories about firefighting? Let's hear it, eh?
Who's gonna start? I mean, I think we have like plenty of them.
All right, you go first, Gilly.
On firefighting,
Yeah.
don't really have no good on firefighting, but Rocky, Davy Jones, you should be a DC man.
Well,
Remember, was you there when we fucking did the RNA on the Coke boat that was on fire? They set that bitch on fire, and the ventilation was going into main one, and we were all waived from drug tests.
oh yes, I remember that. I remember that. The cocaine boat, right?
Yeah, we fucking tracked that cocaine boat down. The motherfuckers didn't want to get caught, so they lit that bitch on. They were throwing out kilos of coke. That's how we tracked them down, because we were following like breadcrumbs of fucking cocaine, and then ran up to them because one of their engines died on them, and we RNA'd it because they lit that bitch on fire and they were going down with it like they weren't moving. They were gonna light that bitch up, and all that coke that was burning, like when we were in main one standing watch, you could smell like burning plastic. And we're like, fuck is going on down here?
What year was that?
That was I think that was 2001 to be exact.
I think it
Oh,
was.
I was already in sea school at that time.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was when we did that one in 2001 before I left the ship too.
that must have been one of our drug packs that we were doing.
I remember that now. That's a
But
fun.
because in '98, well, when it was on drug operations, we blew up a fucking drug runner boat that had been abandoned.
Yeah.
I mean, we actually blew it up.
Which is funny because, as much RNA as we do with catching up with fire, helping each other out. I mean, look, what, how many times is you do RNA drills, rescue and assist drills, like all the time to catch each other. And now these guys are all over the fucking place trying to figure out where they need to go. And these guys are supposed to be trained in wildfires. And they are some of the best out there. And they can't even get this thing under because they don't have the fucking resources for it.
Well, when you mismanage a forest, right? If you got all that kindling there, all that dry shit, the only thing you do is fire brace and let it burn itself out. I mean, that's you can try to manage as best you can with water drops and all that, but eventually it has to burn itself out. If they're not doing controlled burns, plain and simple.
But hell, it's no different than us, man. Remember how we always get pissed off, like, need to make sure all the hazmat's cleaned up, make sure the hazmat
Yeah.
barrels are cleaned out, blah, blah, blah. It's the same damn thing. Like, if you don't police flammable materials, it will fucking go up in flames at some point in time. Complacency is the fucking killer that we always know about, like, especially on the ship.
And
With
I always hated that.
that shit,
They come down expect the hazmat lockers. I always fucking dreaded that shit.
gotta make sure the door closes on time, make sure it latches shut, make sure your MSDS sheets are all up to date, your inventory's right. You're like, why is there fucking paint cans in here? This isn't issued in hazmat. I don't know. Or like using brake cleaner. I'd go buy brake cleaner from the auto store to get, like get that real shiny on the
Yep.
equipment so they couldn't really see it on the bilges and shit. I'll tell you what, it worked, but hella flammable. Gotta make sure you take that shit back out.
Well, speaking of flammable, remember that fucking fuel leak we had? It made one.
Oh,
It
yeah,
was
what,
in
the
port.
shipyard? Yeah, the shipyard in
Yeah.
Washington State. Yeah.
The we came on board like, what the fuck? We smell it. We still drunk as hell from night before.
Yeah, I thought I had like like the fog over your eyes, like your eyes are dried out from drinking. No, that was the fucking fuel vapor in the air, like all through the ship.
And
You're
then
like,
me and you down there fucking trying to stop it, fucking drunk as hell. Covered fucking F-76.
yeah, like swimming in the shit, trying to fucking fix that valve. Not only that, but they left the vent valve open when they were transferring fuel.
And that all comes down to the fucking oil lab. They got fucking lazy and complacent.
Fucking well, you know who was in there too?
Hodges.
No, and fucking old Donovan too, man.
Oh yeah.
I think he was the one that left that shit open. Left the vent valve open when he was taking I think he was taking a sample for the prior to start sample, like emergency start
Yep.
generator. You always gotta have one for 24 hours and shit.
Yep.
So yeah, nothing like swimming in diesel fuel when you're like a fireman. Oh yeah, it looked like goddamn Zoolander where they're fucking spraying gas on each other,
And
dancing
then
around.
we went right to fucking eat after that. So we got to stop. We're like, we're getting something to eat because it was chow time,
Yeah,
breakfast time.
I'm getting breakfast, man. After that, I ain't going to take a shower.
And then fucking the MS is like, you can't come through and smell like that. I'm like, fuck you. Yes, we are. We're fucking hungry. We're fucking eating.
And that's, it's funny because we talk about like generational transitions where like, the guys that we came in with were like, fuck you, you guys are pussies.
Yep.
And then we go through and it's like, fuck you guys, you're pussies. But you actually see that change. Like you're seeing it now of where it's been so sanitized from back in the day too. From going from the actual fuel fires to propane trainers that if they get too hot, they automatically shut off and the lights come on. I understand safety and stuff, but man, you're not getting a real fuel fire if you're not down there in it. That's where I think we're lacking training in is a lot of that too.
Aye, training be important, even when you have to walk the plank.
You gotta go on top of it, yeah.
Or when you keel haul someone's ass for being stupid.
Wish we could bring that back. They keep cleaning the barnacles off every quarter.
Ah, yes. It would definitely clean barnacles and get a lot of sharks around you.
Poor bastards.
Yeah, us snipes didn't have to worry about that shit at all.
Fuck, speaking of like that, like swimming, dude, they took that away from us. We got one swim call. One swim call that I ever did in 24 fucking years. You got to swim freely in the ocean. You know, nobody around. You could see 200, 300 feet down, crystal clear.
I never did swim calls. I'm like, fuck you. I'm staying off the fucking boat.
Yeah, me and Joe did one, and man, we got pulled pretty far out from the ship. Like we were just swimming. Next thing you know, we're like, oh shit, we got about 400 yards to swim. Like the boat was getting small.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, they didn't, but nobody cared. They were like, yeah, they're out over there. You know, where you got all the lookouts and everything. Everybody forgets about the lookouts. It's like gunner's mate ain't there to shoot sharks. They're there to shoot your ass. Put you out of your misery when the shark gets your ass.
Hey, that reminds me of that time. Yes, I remember that shit.
And then you get back and you got to climb up the cargo net. And you're like looking up, like, damn, that's a long climb, dude.
It was a long climb, and there was barnacles on that shit too.
Yep, yep. That was where it was at.
I watched Jaws too many times to want to go in the water, though.
And the funny thing is, I didn't like deep water. And yet I joined the fucking Navy. Of all the fucking branches.
You got to remember, dude, there's land all around you, just 2 miles down. You're good.
No shit, but oh shit. Excuse
But
me.
for the landlubber named Gilly.
It's always land. Just, you know, it's down where Davy Jones hangs out.
Well, that's where we're all gonna be going when we die. Since we're shellbacks.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. My will's already set up to go to the Marianas Trench. Go ahead and cremate my ass and shoot my ass down in the trench. Deepest part you can find. Shoot it down.
Me, I just want to barrel at seas where I want. You know.
Which is funny as hell because the bodies that go in there are in the reefer, which is next to your food.
Yep.
You got like 4 or 5 body bags in there, and you're like, I guess I'm doing sound security check on the bodies, make sure nobody's taking any of them. Good to go.
Well, we had plenty of dead bodies on the 5.
Yeah.
That was in the fucking reefer.
Yeah, that's where you got to store them at. You can't store them anywhere else.
Because we used to do a barrel at sea too.
Yeah.
On the 5.
Like that shit fucking is always just creepy. It's weird.
Yep.
Because you're like, hey, there's my lettuce, and then there's the corpse sitting there. You know, all the respect in the world for everybody that wants to be buried at sea. It's just the way that we have to do it is just what people don't understand, like how it has to be done and how you get it out there. They're like, oh, you fly them out there? Like, no, we got to take them with us. We get out to sea, man. There's, you know, nobody's bringing bodies out to us on a helicopter.
Well, they could because we had a helo detachment.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could, but you don't.
Yep. Because we didn't always have the helo attachment every time we went out to sea with us.
Not every time that I went out. We didn't always have a helo attachment. We would get one assigned if we needed it, but
mainly if we had to do like drug missions or we was in the Persian Gulf. That's where we had the helos attached to us.
Oh yeah. Yeah, anytime you're going over anywhere operating overseas, you're gonna have a helo detachment. Because you got to set up, like when you go through the Straits of Gibraltar and shit, you got to have links set up so everybody can track everything that's out there, all the sea traffic and shit like that.
All right. So, any good sea stories about the sea?
We're already talking about the sea already. We're talking about dropping bodies off out.
Yep.
I know, I'm just being a smartass.
Well, I got one when me and you first got to the 5, Rocky Davy, and we was fucking painting the boiler. We pissed off Chief Turbo because I started painting you white and you started painting me white.
And then it got out of hand because I painted your whole coveralls white.
And then I painted all your cold coveralls white. He's like, what the fuck you two jackasses doing down here?
Oh, that was hilarious.
And after that, we was never allowed to paint together ever or wax the P-way ever again.
We weren't allowed to do anything together because we got in trouble. They were like, "Goddamn motherfuckers! Hey, you stupid swabbies! What are you doing?"
Just like in the scullery, we was cranking, right? They kicked us out of the scullery together.
I think we got the work done too quick. I don't know.
Well, that we had the music fucking playing too loud, pissed off the Chiefs next door. So, because you'd have your fucking Bloodhound gang going one minute, I'll have Home Country going, right? And we went back and forth, you know. And the Chiefs didn't like that Bloodhound gang fucking song.
Fire, water, burn.
Yep. Or fucking baiting like fucking animals or whatever that song is.
Well, that came out a little bit later.
Oh hell, I had the scullery, but I got in trouble a few times by spraying people. I think I sprayed a couple of like us out of the engineering department.
You sprayed me, motherfucker, on purpose.
I thought I fucking got your ass one day.
Because I was coming up there, dropped off the fucking shit, right? The next thing I didn't even fuck with you yet. Next thing I know, I'm getting surprised, motherfucker.
I remember what I used to do when I dropped my food off in the scullery. They had like some kind of brass thing that sounded like a stinger, the ding, 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 ding. Yep. And I'd go, ding, 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 Rocky arriving. Ding. And then I'd drop the plate off and give it to the scullery people and go, ding, 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 Rocky departing, ding. Oh, man.
See, that's the kind of, after you left fucking with DC, right? Left their B division. That's where like Little Tate never saw that side of you coming out. Because you got more serious when you was a DC man versus when you was just a fireman.
I didn't have much to lose back then.
No, it was free for all back then, especially, in the late 90s and then the early 2000s before September 11 went down.
This was before it became high school with the girls coming on board.
Yeah, this was because this before the girls got on both. Yeah, it was.
The crazy thing about that was I was like Division 386 when I went through in July of 99. And we were the first co-ed group that they were working on because the females were like on the third deck of the ship back in the day. And we were on the second deck. So they'd have to come down so we could PT and integrate and then go out to the fucking grinder. So it was a fucking nightmare, man. The first few weeks of trying to get all the schedules set up to go together once we, mixed in to go. And and we were all one division. So if a female fucked up, we all got fucked up.
I'm sure you all got fucked up quite a bit for them females fucking up.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Back then, females were way different than what they are now. You're talking like 20 years later, and it's, fucking not even 20, like 10 years in, and it got crazy.
The females that came in back then, back in the late 90s, right? They were just as raunchy as what we was.
Oh, hell yeah.
And they was probably, when they wanted somebody, they was more forceful than what the guys was.
Yep. It's like that time you had to save my ass in Mexico.
Well, Mexico, fucking Thailand.
No, let's hear about that.
I'm talking about Tijuana itself when old two girls were trying to rob my ass and molest me in the bar.
Well, I know. Then they tried it in fucking Thailand too.
No, they didn't try it in Thailand with me.
Well, somebody did. I had to save your ass. That's before you saved me in Thailand from getting shot from that fucking guard. Yeah. Military guard.
Or saved your ass out of the ATM with a handle of rum.
Yep.
That was funny because the ATMs over there, it's hilarious to see overseas. ATMs are in their own booth. So, yeah. Got a death.
I was too, man. I just fell out. I'm done.
No, that shit was funny as hell because it was random as hell because it was after I had duty. Yep. And we were meeting back up with each other. And that's when I thought they were cleaning the room up and you had left the Sea Pearl. Yep. And I was like, fuck, now I got to go find my own hotel. And I went to the Holiday Inn, which, believe it or not, that got destroyed by that tsunami back in 2004. Was it 2004, I think? That tsunami that hit Patong Beach. I stayed at that Holiday Inn where they were filming it. And then I found your ass later on that night in the ATM. You're like, why the fuck did you get another room? And I was like, because I thought you were going.
And
So,
that's when the ATM fucking ate my fucking card too.
yeah. Oh, man, eating cards. Remember, like, 21st birthday, they went down to Tijuana. I had pictures of beer, like, still in my hands, like, when I woke up at Club Metro in San Diego. Well, they left my ass there by myself, and they went down to Tijuana, and they had put in an ATM their card, and it spit back out a Navy Fed card with a different name on it, though.
Oh shit.
So it looked the
Shit.
same, but they didn't know till the next day when they went into their bank account. This is old Joe, and he lost all of his money. And this was, back in 2000, what, 2001, I think it was, that happened. So, or 2000. I don't know. It was the fucking one of the nights that you stole my fucking number for Victoria. Ass,
That was a night.
you prick
That was
motherfucker.
the
I
night.
still won't let you live that fucking shit down either.
All right, what happened?
So remember old Diaz, talking about women. So
Uh-huh.
I was always helping like refueling with them, sounding and shit, and we'd be over the phones talking. And finally, like one night, I'd asked her like, "Hey, what's going on with you?" Like, she's like, "Well, I won't date another Navy guy while I'm in." So I was like, "Okay, cool, whatever." And then later on, when she got out, she came to Club Metro in San Diego because she was from there. Well, she's like, "Hey, give me a call tomorrow because you've obviously been drinking too much, and we'll hang out and we'll talk then." Well, this fucking prick over here, wait, there, let me get my finger the right way. Over here, I go and fucking like gloat to him, like, "Hey, look what number I got," and this son of a bitch steals it from me, right? Takes it out of my fucking hand, and then the next day he loses. He's like, "I don't know what I did with it, man," and I was like. Ah, you motherfucker.
You've been a cock blocker, eh?
Yeah, he
Yes.
definitely cockblocked my ass on that one.
And I wasn't being, I was trying to fuck with him, right? That's all I was trying to do is fuck with him. Then I am losing the fucking number for him. I was like, oh fuck.
One of those roads that who knows where it would have veered off to, you know what I mean?
Be free and flexible and creative was really essential to what I wanted to make. And I didn't.
Damn.
Fuck was that?
You ready for
It was an accident. I'm trying to fix something.
Trying to put it back together. Yeah, that was a fun time. I mean, that was just, remember Club Metro like back in the day too. And you had anchors, cankers and sores over there.
Yep.
That was a good one. I fell asleep in a parking lot space over there. Got in trouble for that one. Man,
What
there's
was that one?
got hit by a car.
I've been trying to remember the name of this one bar in San Diego, Filipino bar, right?
You talking about
What
fucking
was the name of that?
Tango?
I can't.
Oh, Trophy Lounge.
Trophy Lounge, yes. I was trying to remember the name of that the other day. I couldn't remember it.
Yeah, Trophy Lounge, man. Trophy Lounge was right down the road. They shut that, they put that place off limits because two sailors got stabbed there one night a while back. I mean, it's been years, but you know how all the Westpac widows would go hang out there to pick up a boyfriend while their husbands were out at sea. I
It
guess
was all the Filipino women every time, too. No white women, Filipino.
it wasn't all Filipino. It was definitely a Filipino bar, but there's some women all over that was in there. They knew where to go to pick up dates.
And those women, especially the Filipino ones, was fucking they were aggressive.
Yeah. You know what was great about that place? I think it was on like Tuesdays or Wednesdays. They had Long Island iced tea pitcher night. And I'm telling you what, holy fuck, dude, you're gonna get roasted with a pitcher of that.
So
And it
the
was
first
like,
time I ever had a Long Island iced tea was in that fucking bar. First time.
yeah, they were gnarly, man. They were no joke.
And after that night, I didn't drink Long Island iced tea for at least a couple of years after that night. I did not.
Ed went back, like Ed took me there in like the daytime, like when they first opened, up for the day to get Long Island iced teas. And I'll tell you what, that place was rough looking in the daytime, man. You want that bitch at night.
Oh hell yeah! You got to be drunk before you walk in that motherfucker. You got to be.
Pre-game that thing to get up in there. But
I mean,
it was a quick tram ride. Like it was, right down the way and cost you what, less than $1 to get there on the tram? It's like taking the tram to Tijuana. It was the same thing.
yeah, speaking of the tram going to Tijuana, I don't know if you was with us, but I was me, Lil. I don't know if you was with us, not Lil Tate. But one night coming back from Tijuana, fucking these fucking little fucking Mexicans, they's part of the gang, they's fucking with this one girl. Trying to fucking pretty much rape her. We stopped that bullshit. And the next thing we know, they're trying to roll us at the next stop when their boys was there at 32nd Street, right across the street from the base. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. I said, fuck California.
And it was so funny because it was so easy to get across the border back in the day. You just walk turnstile and you're like, I'm in Tijuana, let's go. And then you
fucking goddamn it, what is his name? The GSE. He was Dominican born, but he was a U.S. citizen. He lives here in St. Louis now. But I'll think of his name in a minute. That dumb motherfucker did not say he was U.S. citizen when he crossed the border one night. Coming back.
Yeah.
He was so fucked up. I said, "You're a U.S. citizen, motherfucker. Show me your ID." Dude, you're a fucking sailor. Come on.
Yeah.
They fucking held him. We had to go back because at that time we had curfew for some fucking reason.
Wasn't that Cinderella Liberty at that time?
And fucking it was Chief Turbo. Next day, fucking he goes, "Where's so and so?" We're like, "Well, he got picked up at border crossing." He said, "Why the fuck you motherfuckers leave him there?" I said, "What the fuck we supposed to do? They took him into custody. We couldn't do shit." Barillo, GSE Barillo.
Skinny Murillo's ass.
Yeah. And he caught so much fucking hell next day when they finally released him. Because I think Chief Turbo and Captain had to go down and get his ass.
Yeah, that wasn't the first time because Donovan and them got picked up by the Federales down there. And it took like the captain and a bunch of other things to get them out of the jail down there.
Go ahead.
I was going to say it was just crazy because us as citizens and military IDs still had a hell of a time getting over the border. And you're looking at the shit now and you're like, dude, we were just coming back from drinking and we're like sailors and like we couldn't even fucking get back in that easy.
Now, Walter, was you with us when we got chased by the fucking Federales after they stopped us one night?
I've never been chased by the Federales or had to deal with any of them.
I can't remember who was with me. Might have been Lil too, but we come back from. We was getting ready to cross the shit bridge, right? I call it the shit bridge. And stop, had some tacos, right? Getting ready to eat tacos, getting ready to leave. Cross that bridge. Next thing I know, here come Fifer'S. Planting fucking drugs on us. Wanted to fucking shake us down. That's what they's doing.
Yeah.
And I had the only thing I had in my sock was $20. Because I always kept some money in my sock just for that fucking reason.
The old school Midwest thing where you keep money in your shoe and shit.
Yep. But it was not enough because Lil or whoever's with me didn't have no money on him. Fucking my buddy Geyer too. That dumb fucker Geyer.
Oh, that motherfucker.
On it. But still, they said, no, that's not enough. So we fucking pushed him and fucking ran all the way to the fucking border. I was glad we got through that motherfucker that night. I was like, fuck that. I'm not going back to Tijuana for a long fucking time.
They put Tijuana off limits like so many times. Went through so many security briefs for them because of the amount of kidnappings that were happening for sailors and civilians alike, even, military. It got really bad.
Well, I remember the first time this is 98, first time we pulled in San Diego, once we were stateside again, fucking Tijuana was off limits for us. And then the next time we pulled in, which, what was it, right? What was it, Davey? Fucking, not even 6 months later, 3 months later, something, Tijuana was open, wide open again.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird, like how they put the security and safety brutes down, back and forth, like, oh, it's good this time, no, it's not good this time, you're good this time. And they're like, so when do I go?
But you had to watch your ass more in San Diego than you did fucking Tijuana.
Oh yeah.
You really did, especially the gas lamp district back then. You really had to watch your ass coming back.
And Main Street on the dry side too.
Mhm.
Because remember, San Diego had the wet and dry side.
Yep.
And then you went to the dry side because that was where a lot of schools were. Hell, where we did PFA at, the physical fitness test. And you go outside the base right there, and Main Street was like, you get robbed like quick as hell if you weren't careful.
And that's why the first time we went to San Diego, even going to the exchange, right, which not too far off base,
Yeah.
is the big one. They told us you gotta watch yourself fucking with the Mexican gates. And I was like, oh, you're full of shit, right? Especially they said daytime you're fine. Nighttime, you gotta watch your ass.
Yeah.
And I see firsthand why they said that too. They
Well,
tried to tell us quite a few times. It didn't happen, but
and the tram station was right there. That's why,
yeah.
because they hop off the tram and then they could hop right back on the tram and kind of be out, you know what I mean, out of the way. So,
And the gate guards ain't gonna do shit because it's all fucking military property right there.
yeah.
You just gotta get your ass fucking run to the base, to the gate guards for them to do anything. And what those motherfuckers jarheads, the gate guards, right? What those jarheads?
No, they were Navy guys.
I couldn't remember because, like in Yokosuka, the gate guards, when you entered the base, was fucking jarheads in Yokosuka.
See, everything I've seen over here is like joint forces, like Marine and Navy. 99% of the time, they're Navy gate guards.
Because I remember I got in trouble fucking, this is, 97, coming back from the haunch. We had to do the haunch crawl. Fucking, I got in trouble for spitting on the core deck of the fucking walking through the gate. This fucking jarhead goes, you spit on my core deck. I said, no shit, jarhead. I said, I had to fucking spit. And I thought I was fucking gonna be busted, right? Because drinking age at that time was fucking 20. I was 18. I was like, oh fuck, I done fucked up here. I was like, I'm gonna be going to mass. I didn't go to mass though, but whew, really had one.
Well, I got my buddy just sent me a text. He's like, "Are you guys watching your live stream?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, it's on," because he's like, "It's not showing anything," and I'm like,
Oh, it's fucking up and running.
"Yeah, I know. I can see it right now."
Yeah. Yeah, it's up and running. Says two watching, started 43 minutes ago, right there. So
I don't know if it's just the way he's got his stuff set up.
we got a couple.
Well, it's like, remember, like both of us
Oh,
in San Diego when we went to the wrong quarter decks on different.
Yep.
We had ship stickers back in the day.
Oh
Remember,
yeah.
remember we
Yes.
had ship stickers like the crest itself to make sure, like the quarter deck knew where you were coming from. Like, hey, bro, you're at the wrong ship, and you're like, oh man.
Hey, do you have the live stream pulled up?
I have it on my phone pulled up.
Because we got a couple of comments here from Fourth Branch, right? One of them was, "Don't worry, boys, the gays and lesbians will figure it out and save the day." And the next one is Weird Debescu Dudes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that
I don't
is.
know what the fuck that means though, but
It's like word up, ski dudes. Word up, that's what it is. So it's like word up, dude.
okay. I've never seen that one before, so
That's a new one.
well,
All
hell,
right.
he's the first one to actually comment on our live stream. So
I thank you for commenting and carrying a little bit.
thank you for watching.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sorry, man. I didn't mean to interrupt you though.
No, no. I mean, that's fine. I mean, I wasn't paying attention to comments either.
I wasn't here because most of the time we don't have comments while we're live streaming.
Last one we got was like the Coriolis effect on Big Gun. We were doing the platters.
But I remember being back in San Diego coming back from fucking Tijuana, right? I was so fucked up. I walked off the end of the fucking pier because I was looking down. Fucking, I walked off there, that motherfucker. Thank God, fucking, the tide was high enough, right? Thank God it was at that time.
Yeah, yeah.
And, and that sobered me up really fucking quick. I had to swim around, right? Get on, fucking climb up the ladder. And whoever's at the quarter deck on the 5, they was laugh their ass off because they watched me the whole time.
Yeah.
I was like, you motherfuckers, you didn't fucking say nothing? No, we want to see what you're going to do. I was like, you fuckheads.
And that's the way that it goes. It's like, watch this dude. Watch, what is he going to do? What is he going to do? Oh, shit, there he goes. All right, let's go save him.
Hey, that's classic right there. That's some classic shit.
But that's when we still had majority of the ship was fucking 7th Fleet sailors.
Yeah.
All of us from Japan. I mean, because we're like, this dumb motherfucker's going to do something here. Watch this shit, boys.
Yeah. Well, it's like the second time I walked onto the wrong ship. I realized I was on the wrong ship when I got to the mess decks. Because they had different PRC and a different layout. Not layout, but like different, decoration. I'm like, oh shit. They let me on the quarter deck and I was like, I gotta go. And as I'm walking away, they were watching me too. And remember how they used to put out spike strips, right? At the pier, part of the security. I ended up didn't see the string that was tied off and ended up tripping over that and pulling the spike strip with me. And they were like, oh, fuck, are you all right, dude? Like, whoops. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Just I'll make it there eventually. But that was the crazy thing. Like, all of us were treated like adults and we did some crazy shit, but 99% of us made it back. Like, found our rack, no injuries.
That was always the main thing. As long as we found our rack, the right one, we were going.
It didn't piss or shit in anybody's rack.
Hey,
I did that one night. Can't remember. Where the fuck was we? I can't remember. It might have been Australia. Might have been all fucking Australia. Fucking, I thought I was in the bathroom one night. And I was taking a piss on fucking GSM2 VO4 in his fucking rack. And he's like, Gilly, you're pissing on me. I was like, shut up, you little bitch, just take it. I think that was Australia because I got to put on fucking Charlie and Liberty after that.
Exactly.
That's what you do with the drunken sailor, eh? You let him act like a fool and watch it. It's a good thing they didn't have social media back then.
Oh, it's a great thing. Oh my God. I mean, because if they did, we would be fucking memes of the day on Facebook. We would have been.
Oh my God. It'd be so bad. And
and that reminds me, we was in San Diego when we got called Attila the Huns. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, the Huns from the North, baby.
When we started fucking just pillaging everything.
It was the Hewlett was decommon, is what it was. Because remember, like San Diego, for everybody, we're stationed in Everett, Washington, where the weather is shitty for painting. So we would get underway just to go to San Diego to fucking paint. To paint
because it was drier there. It was a lot drier and not wet.
Right. And so like we became like second home for us. And as soon as we heard that bitch was decommon, it was game on, baby. It was game on.
Well, it was Ureta, fucking Chief Turbo, Chief fucking T-Boat. So go fucking raid those motherfuckers, especially for the lube oil purifier parts that we needed.
Yep.
Just because they're the same class as us, so fuck, we would have raided that shit.
Yeah, centrifugal, and we were stealing like idler arms and idler spindlers and springs and shit. That's when Durst was like fucking wrenching on it. And here come what I can't remember what Cermak is it on the West Coast? Not Cermak.
Actually, it's Sima
back then.
Yep.
They came running down the pier like, that's ours. And Durst was like, I don't see your fucking name on it. And just kept turning wrenches on it. He's like taking the parts until like they called. And like when me and Durst went through there, we were picking up the high pressure starters and the generators. They just left them on the ground. Like we came out with so many parts off that ship that didn't need the 1149s.
Yep.
That's we were the ones that started everybody having to require have the paperwork to take stuff off because we were taking so much shit off there. They were
Oh
like,
fuck, we took the main fuel controls. If it wasn't bolted down, you
yeah.
know, we unbolted it on some things. But if it was laying out there, it was ours for the taking. We just took it.
And I think the where it got really like the end, like where everybody got pissed off is somebody took the commissioning plaque off the quarterdeck was the big thing. So they took the actual commissioning plaque off of it. And you're like, all right, everybody's done right now until we figure this shit out. Because I know when I was cranking, because I was cranking at that time, I went back with MS1 and we stole the XO's furniture. We didn't realize he was still on board taking care of
Oh fuck.
like chairs and we took his couch and shit, like walking off the quarterdeck, like, oh, and they were like, okay, whatever. We took some cabinets from him, like.
The funniest thing was when it was on the 1MC and the XO was calling us all the Huns from the north.
Yeah. The whole 1MC is like, all right, we've been designated the Huns of the North. And we're like, yeah.
And that was MS1. That was before he made Chief. It's Fernata, right?
Oh, no, it was Cook. Remember MS1 Cook with the glass?
Okay, it was Cook. Okay.
Yeah, Cook, like, he's like, help me grab this stuff. And I was like, should we be taking furniture out of here? Like, why is there still furniture? And he's like, don't worry about it. And that's when the XO caller was like, hey, my furniture's gone and the commissioning plaque's gone. And you taking so much shit off my boat. We're just like, and that's when we got like barred from going down there. I remember Chief Smith saying that shit. He was like, we're not allowed to go over to the Hewlett. Like, don't even go down the pier. Don't, because you had to go down in your uniform.
Well, it wasn't Chief Smith at the time. It was Joseph Woodsmith at the time.
Yeah, or was it T-Bolt? I think it was T-Bolt or Smith.
Chief T-Bolt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we raped, and not really raped that thing, but we took care of it nice and tidy, like.
Well, if you ain't got to pay for the fucking parts, that's free fucking parts for you, people. And what do you think? A bunch of us on the Fife at that time, a lot of us was from the Midwest. So we used to raiding fucking junk yards. Oh, shit. Okay. Fuck you. We're going.
Yeah, it's like raiding old tractors out there in the middle of nowhere, like. But I can get a few parts off of that if you didn't get shot at while you were trying to take it.
Exactly. Well, I'm surprised they didn't fucking shoot ass, even though it was on base.
Yeah, I know, right? Like those guys did not care at first until all that went down. They're like, we ain't never seen anybody like this. We're like, yeah.
Hey, that's one thing. If the chiefs or the officers gave us a fucking order, it didn't matter how dicey it was. We was gonna fucking do it.
Oh, and that's when we had our nice new tool bags too. Remember when they got us all those new tool bags?
Yep.
And it was like, oh, I got my tool bag. Let's go.
Yep.
And down the pier we went, man. There wasn't anything we didn't take. I think another one too. I think we took off like a recirc vet line off the fire pump casing, and it squirted a little bit of water. And I think there was water like flooding the bilge in Maine too. Maybe I cannot confirm or deny that might have happened. So
yeah, but we didn't sink that motherfucker, so like it's all good. It's all good.
If it did, it would have been just there on the pier in San Diego.
Yeah, I mean, come on now. It was decommissioned anyway, so we just figured we'd help it along. Come on.
I know, right? Make it a little bit faster.
And the DC guys too, they was ready to fucking repair lockers, hoses, everything, firefighting suits, fucking. At that time, we switched over from the OBAs to SBAs, right? Fuck,
Yeah.
they was taking fucking tanks from the motherfuckers.
I think we were trying to get CO2 fixed flooding tanks too. I think we were trying to get those.
And we had Halon too at the time, but they stopped us from getting the Halon. They're like, no, you boys ain't getting this one.
No, you can't have this one.
Because we started unbuckling everything, started taking down the injured like the Halon. You know, they're like, nope, can't have this. I'm like, fuck, come on now. We had a bunch, because we did have some dumb motherfuckers on the 5 too. That one time they discharge fucking halon to Bay 2. Do their fucking checks. Not CO2, but fucking halon. And I think at this time, Rocky was still fucking in the goddamn engine room with me, Bay 2. Then we all had to go out the fucking up the skate patch, right up the fucking best decks. And everyone was wondering why we was fucking escaping fucking Bay 2, go up that way. Because it was right during fucking lunch, what it was, too.
Yeah.
Get halon dumped on you. No wonder why we're all fucking got breathing issues now. Fucking HFF, all that shit.
Well, and I did it in Main 1 coming out of the yards because we didn't have any electricity in 1 gen. And I didn't realize the license, the UV light sensors are like they keep a memory, believe it or not. So I was in there in the dark, and like old school when you're out there, you're like using your lighter to see in the dark. Well, it fucking seen it, and as soon as we put the system back online, it immediately dumped it. And they're like, "Who dumped CO2?" And we're like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what's going. I don't know what's going on."
I remember I was in Bay 2, fucking doing some fucking doing maintenance on fucking 2 Bravo, right? Well, fucking Garcia was supposed to be doing the CO2 checks, right? And I had the CO2 fucking disconnected so it could not go off, right? Because that was part of our entry fucking process. That motherfucker hooked it up and set that bitch off. I was pissed.
Was the pin dropped already on it, or was it because he triggered it when he put it on?
He triggered it when he put it on. And I fucking laid into him. I was like, "You dumb motherfucker. Didn't you see the fucking doors open? That door is only open when we're inside that motherfucker." And he should have known because he was in Bay 2 with me and fucking Rocky.
Did he go D-Seaman too with you?
Who?
Garcia.
Pretty.
Yes, he did. And he ended up making second class, and I forgot what happened to him after that.
I think anybody kept up with him.
I don't think so.
He probably getting fucking plugged in the ass by some dude, so knowing him.
Who knows? And then that again leads the credence of why we get all the memes made of the whole 100 sailors going down and 50 couples coming back up.
But that's fucking submarines. We was fucking surface guys, so we was better than those fucking submariners was.
Are you sure about that sometimes?
Hey, that's my opinion. I'll stick it to it. Come on now.
Which is funnier because there was more gay dudes than there was lesbians at the time back in the day. That was hilarious.
Oh, I'm sure some of those girls on the boat was fucking bisexual. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do when you're underway.
And that's one place I never liked going. As soon as those females got on board, was that bertha, because they kept that bitch fucking hotter than hell, and it stunk like fucking rotten fish.
Well, and that was the terrible thing because everybody forgets back in the day you had to wake up your own relief. And if it was a female, guess what? You're at like me. Yeah. My ass had to go in there and wake up old GSE 3, who was always fucking late to relieve me.
McKeever.
Oh, always late, dude. Always late, man. So I'd have to go wake her up. Like, I went up there one night and they're like, "You deal with it." And I was like, "Okay, I'll deal with it." I about yanked her ass out of her rack. So I got her back. She always kept her coffee cup down there. You know what happens when people fuck with you and they leave their coffee cup out there? They get a little extra flavor.
Dirty dick that, but you dirty dick that bitch. What you do?
So every time she take a drink out of it, I just get a big old smile like, that's what you get for being late all the time. It was like, and that was where like Diaz and stuff came up because when we were talking about how women were back in the day, how they were raunchy, Diaz slept right above her, like across. So she was up, McKeever was down at the bottom. And that's when Diaz like would reach out of her rack and like slap me in the head every time I go down there. So I told her that, I said, "You slap me again, I'm going to climb up in your rack."
Well, they saw you as, because you was skin and bones back then.
Yeah, I was skinny as hell back then.
They're like, "We can rape this little fucker out here. He can't do shit about it."
This little twig boy.
That's what they wanted. They wanted somebody they could fucking, dominate.
Yeah. Yeah, well, remember old the Native American chick, the old
Which
big girl. She was a gunner's mate.
which one? We had one that was an Inchman too. I can't remember her name. She was the but she was a little skinny girl. The one that
Yeah,
was Inchman.
Stone. And then you had oh,
Yeah,
shit.
the one that was GM married fucking Ian Fireman Short. It was the Ian.
Yeah, yeah. She was always like going after people too. Like everybody thought she was a good girl, and then you find out, and you're like, holy crap, dude.
Well, even Short said that when she fucking went after him. He goes, "She ain't a good girl, but she's fun," and he
Exactly.
ain't married her. But then he died too.
Yeah.
Short did, but yeah, I mean, even the fucking Sasquatch, like or Amazon chick, that was a fucking BM.
Yeah, it was old. That was Goddard. That was one of them that went after me in Mexico.
Fuck, she was goddamn. I mean, she was an Amazon, true Amazon. I swear to
And she was my A-Rock in fucking boot camp in my division. It's
God.
crazier. You know what I mean? Like we talk about small world and then you actually see it and you're like, holy shit, this is a chick I went to boot camp with. Like, you know, I mean, I've
Oh
seen
yeah.
her ass chewed out a few times, but that goes back to what we talked about before is like, people back then, women especially, were what they wanted and what they got. They weren't like all this like six pack and six figures and 6 foot tall. They got whatever they wanted too. They take whatever they wanted on. They didn't care. They did not care one bit. And it was the same thing with all of us too. Like you going hogging and shit or whaling. Why don't you explain whaling to everybody?
Hey, hogging and whaling is when you pick up, you're at the bar, and you have a bet with your buddies. Whoever picks up the fattest chick does not have to buy beer. They got to buy you fucking beer the next fucking night. And I never lost that shit. And the first time I did it, so I got introduced to it by fucking it was MS, Prez, MS3 Prez, or Pyrites, and fucking GSM3 Good, right?
Oh, good, dude.
And they thought they was going to be the kings because I was that quiet one, right? I
Mhm.
mean, this is what I still, this is where I made third class. And I was like, okay. Then they thought they had won. Then I came walking out. I mean, she had to be fucking 350 pounds, 400 pounds, right? I didn't care.
Got,
And
got
they're like, we gotta have proof. I said, okay, that's fine. I did. I took her home, back to her place, and just fucking laid into her.
yeah.
Then next day, I realized how fucking ugly she was. She was beautiful, right? Because there are some girls that are bigger that are just beautiful. She wasn't. I was doing that coyote ugly thing. Get the fuck out of there. But I stole her fucking one of the panties, right? Brought it back to ship. I said, here you go, bitches. I said, I win. Beer's on you next day.
That's
I never lost that ever.
that's when you go to Shotzi's and go to fucking Bladder Buster night where they're dollar beers and they tape the bathroom door shut.
Well, they did. Well, and they fucking stopped us from going outside and talking about bladder buster diet, right?
Oh yeah, that shit got locked down quick because people started
They
pissing.
stopped because we saw around it, right? Okay, we're gonna go outside and take a piss in the alley. That's what we do.
Yeah.
And there was one dumb motherfucker came in with a fucking pisser in a bag.
Remember that? Yeah, they had like
Motherfucker had a catheter put in.
yeah, like
Just from that, I'm like, dude, why the fuck would you do that? I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? He goes, I want a drink. And then there was motherfuckers just pissing themselves right there at the bar.
that was the
They
big thing that
cared.
put it down was because people were pissing at the bar.
And I was like, Jesus Christ. But they did stop us from going outside because
Yeah.
they caught on what the fuck we was doing. Because they was like, why is this fucking bladder buster going on longer than a fucking hour?
Yeah.
I mean, it was going on for fucking 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Dude, Shotzi's was a great place, man. That was the one night I fell out of the truck and smashed my face. Got in a fight with gravity that night.
Gravity always wins, goddammit.
And you lost, didn't
Always
you?
wins.
You lost.
I definitely lost that one, man. That I looked like I got in a fight with Mike Tyson.
It was like put your dukes up. And you're like, I got no dukes, I got face.
That was hilarious, dude. That was
Yeah, but the bad thing is you didn't have really a black eye. You just had fucking marks on your face.
yeah, my whole it looked like I had road rash on my face.
Yeah.
That's when Smitty made Chief because he came up after the end of quarters and he was like, "What the fuck happened to you?" I was like, "Lost the fight with gravity, man." And he was like, he tried not to laugh, like he had to keep it back because the Chief trying to talk, and he's like, "I ain't never heard no shit like that, man."
Well, because he asked me too. He said, I know you was with Little Tate that night.
Yeah,
I said, yeah, I was around somewhere. He was wondering. I said, I ain't fuck. I said, ask him. Fuck.
that was the night we went up to the races. I can't remember where in Washington, and we took that case of Mickey.
Oh, she's Snobish.
Yeah,
It was up there near the border.
yeah. And then we took the old hand grenades, the ice hand grenades.
Oh, Mickey's. Oh, fuck, man.
Yeah. That was,
I did finally find the Mickey's here in Boonville, right? Finally did. I'm like, no, I ain't buying them motherfuckers. Nope. I was like, nope. Sorry, interrupt. But you brought that up, so I had to interject. So
the old hand grenades, man. If anybody knows about hand grenades, you know about hand grenades.
Oh yes.
They are dangerous.
Well, fuck. Every time we went fucking like Hatch guy's Mustang, right? Remember that?
Oh yeah.
And I was dating old girl, fucking little mountain girl, right? Right out where we always went camping, right? She worked at some restaurant or something, not in Everett, but outside town. Hatch would go pick us up, Hatch would take us, right? Fuck, I go beat her, right? Then either I go with her or go with you all, right? But we always had Mickey's in the fucking Mustang. Always did. Every fucking time. And we did. We threw them like fucking hand grenades out the window. Hell, we even made fucking sound effects when we was doing because we were so fucking drunk.
Yeah. Mickey's was like a fad there for a while, man. It was like a woo.
Oh, it didn't matter what it was as long as they got us fucked up. We didn't care.
Well, then years later, it became Steel Reserve. Like Steel Reserve was like the go-to when it first came out.
Have you ever tried Four Loco?
Oh God, that was terrible when it first came out.
Oh my goodness. I tried Four Loco one time. This was not on the five. And I went home and I drank one. I passed out at 8 o'clock. My wife was like,
that's the one drink I never tried.
I tried it once, never tried it again.
I mean, was it worse than fucking Mad Dog 2020?
It was worse than any of the malt liquor and any of those put together, man.
So it was worse than fucking Pabst too, and Old English too.
Oh yeah. It was like I said, like the Steel Reserve, and it rocked it out. I had a buddy that was on a Steel Reserve night, and he ended up turning into Rambo, making a fort out of his couch. Fucking put a tie around his head like he was putting the red band on. He had his fucking commando knife out, like, I'm fucking king of the world, bitch. It just went fucking crazy.
Was he just drunk or on fucking weed too, or some cocaine or something too?
Just on a Steel Reserve night, man. He would, like I said, he made that fort, man, out of his couch cushions. It was like, ah. He was
now I can see if he was on a little weed or acid, right, or some cocaine, right, or some meth, but just alcohol. God damn,
that was just Steel Reserves.
Yeah, that was the Steel Reserves, man. Those things are gnarly.
It's like Rick James. Cocaine's a crazy drug. Steel Reserve's a crazy drug.
Well, speaking of fucking, when you said cocaine, I did too. Fucking Casbah. Y'all boys remember the Casbah there? Right down the road from Jack in the Box in Everett? The old biker bar?
No, I don't. I never went there. I never went.
Dude, that was the best fucking place because, the bikers, because they was all, most of them were vets too. The first time I remember walking into that place, this old biker dude, he said, come here, boys. I was like, okay, what the fuck we do? No, you ain't done nothing yet. He said, but there's some rules here. I said, okay. They said, well, I'm going to point out to which women you can't fuck with. He said, if I don't point them out, he said, they're fair game. We're like, okay, fair enough. All right. And dude, we got in fucking tight with those guys. That's where we started getting the good cocaine from. And that's where fucking remember Eddie, Injiment Eddie?
Oh, I remember Eddie, that man would like file lock picks and shit. Like he was way hopped up.
See that motherfucker. The first time I did any fucking blow was with that motherfucker.
Go figure.
On it. And I was like, God damn. Whew, this shit was good. But he knew that world too.
Yeah, he came in a little bit later in age. And I remember I was talking to him one night, like Ox One, talking about where he came from, and he was always filing lock picks, man. Always filing lock picks.
Well, I think he was one of those guys that was given the choice to either go to prison or join the fucking military.
Yeah. Yeah, that was during like the late 90s, like when I came in.
Yeah, that was before 2000. That was like 99.
Yeah, they opened the floodgates up for um like minor offenses, misdemeanors and stuff, depending on like non-violent misdemeanors. And they were like, hey, you can either go to jail or you can go to the Navy. And ended up being some of the best guys that were in that situation, ended up, being the best ones. It was the guys that came in that didn't, you know what I mean? Like they had all these backgrounds, like I'm so smart and da 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 da. It ended up being the worst ones that came in because the guys were like trying to make a life and a better life for themselves. And a lot of people that came in that way did. I mean, I was one of those people. I didn't have anywhere to go. I was working restaurants and factory jobs, and it was like, hey, let's go to the Navy. 24 years later, here I am.
Well, and you came to the Fife just like we all did, not knowing anything, right? Pretty much. A designated fireman, but you got in there and you worked your ass off.
Yeah.
You learned the fucking job.
Yeah, and that's what everybody's missing these days. Like if you work hard, you can make it there. I mean, yeah, there's some bullshit with every job, no matter where you're at. That you got to play the game sometimes, but
well, that's like when remember Tom and we get all pissed off at you because he was 6Y0, right? Fucking
yeah,
made third class, right? When I came in made one, right? Took over for Salivar, he get mad at hell when he's like, well, why does little Tate get to fucking do this? And I'm down here in the bilge. And I said, motherfucker, he did his time in the bilge. He wants to learn. He's with me. Fuck you. Do your fucking time. And then, baby, I'll let you work on the fucking turbine.
ran into so many of those guys. Like so many of those guys that, think they're smart and they didn't work on any of the equipment. Like you don't even know your fucking ass from a hole in the ground around this equipment. You don't even know how to operate it. Like
See, I remember what
learn how to operate it, but it doesn't. There's always like little quirks in every piece of equipment you work on, and every ship is different. They all have their own little nuances that you have to learn. Nothing is ever the same on there. That's what makes it great about sailing. Every sailing the same way too.
And also, too, I told Tom, I said, look, he's already fucking ERM qualified when you ain't, motherfucker. You're third class.
Yeah.
Then when you fucking got put on ETT with me and fucking Durst, right? Baldos, boy, that pissed him off.
Oh, dude, I got in trouble on that one when I was running ERM. Yeah. I got in an argument with the lead inspector that assessed us on one of them because I called him out on his bullshit because he had trained us a certain way for the main space fire doctrine. Getting back around to fire here, and when we did the main space fire, he hit us on something that he had trained us to do. And at the time, I was a fireman. Actually, I think I made third class. No, I was still a fireman. And called him out, and the Cheng was like, get the fuck out right now. Because he knew that I was right. Right? And I got kicked out of there and came back. Cheng was like, hey, we know you're right. Like, but you can't be doing that to a senior officer. And I was like, why the fuck can't I do it to a senior officer? Like, if he's wrong, he's wrong. Like he trained us this. I know. But I'm like,
see, you wasn't on board yet, Tate. In '98, when we came back, we lost our keys to get underway.
Yeah.
Where me and fucking Rocky was still in the fucking engine room with me and May too. And we went through fucking hell because
Yeah.
fucking Desron didn't think we was qualified enough or up to par what they wanted, right?
Yeah.
So it was fucking, I mean, 7 days a week for what, 3 to 6 months, working 16-hour to 22-hour days, pretty much.
That-
Fixing all the shit that should have been in Japan fixed, but we didn't have the money because fucking Democrats. Leads back to that.
remember when they had a leak in the lube oil,
Yeah,
in the main reduction gear, and
yeah,
someone put gum on it while
yeah,
they were in the yards in Japan in Yoko?
yeah,
I
yeah.
remember hearing that shit. That we were on there when they did that. I didn't
Yeah.
know at the time though.
And see, that's why when we got back stateside, we got hit so fucking hard on shit. And I mean, dude, we fucking, I mean, they was 7 days a week. I mean, we was either fixing shit, and then if we wasn't fixing anything, they was drilling our asses in those same drills on ETT.
Oh, the worst was when we'd go underway on Friday, pull in on Monday morning, work all week, then go underway on Friday again.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
Yeah. And then once we got to the level we need to be or exceeded, right? That's when they left us the fuck alone. And that's when our ETT team really fucking became really good. Because we all went through that bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's when Lil Tate, he fucking actually started doing good, came on board, right? And it really fucking learned it and was able to be on ETT as a fireman. Not to be fireman he was the only fireman on that motherfucker.
Yeah, I think he was. I think he was the only one. He did it.
Yeah.
He was good. He was good to do it.
Yeah, because the rest of us was fucking, third classes, second classes, fucking first class, chiefs, right? Of course, Chang, right? And it got to have a little Tate over there, the lonely fireman.
But it's like Molinari was the one, and like they put a lot of faith in me, and I appreciate the praise, guys.
That dude had a crazy voice. Let's talk about EOS. EOS, EOS, EOS. I used to imitate him all the time to his
But
face.
he was a good Chang, though. He was a good Chang.
Yeah, he was good. I mean, I know he went on, he got pretty high up, and then Pons. You weren't there for Pons. I don't think either of you.
I was. He became an admiral, didn't he?
Yeah, he became a rear admiral off that boat. Like that was a funny story too. Another Club Metro, like that night that we were messing around and we were playing Superman, which if anybody knows what Superman is, they're like basically punching each other. So Geyer ended up hitting me in my mouth and split my lip open. So I broke his nose, but I had to go to Balboa to get my lip stitched up and ended up being there. And the doctor was like, "Hey, what happened?" And I was like, "Oh, I slipped and fell and hit the toilet seat. I felt like I was sick." And she was like, "That's bullshit." She's like, "Who punched you in the face?" And I was like, and she was like, "Tell me the truth right now." She's like, "My husband's a SEAL." She's like, "I know how stupid you guys are." And I told her what happened. And she just sat there and laughed the entire time she's doing my stitches, in my mouth. She's just laughing as she's doing it. And then I get back to that one. But I see Commander Pons the next day, and he asked me, like, what happened? And I was like, I slipped and fell and hit the toilet. And he just looked at me and started laughing, shook his head, and walked on like nothing had happened. He's like, whatever. He's like, Fireman Smith, you can just make me laugh. And he kept walking. I was like, oh, shit.
Well, you made third class before I left the fuck, didn't you?
Yeah, but that was when I was still a fireman. That was like right at the end.
Okay.
And then towards like decommissioning, I got picked up for second class on that first try, and then that's where I got stuck at for a long time. I got stuck in second class for like 8 years until I got capped to first. So I was already way past, the halfway mark where everybody makes fun of it. You do your first and then do shorter, and you're like, well, I'm at almost 7. Let me go to another boat, and then you're at 10, and you're like, well, I'm halfway there. Then you get halfway through, and you're like institutionalized by then. You're like, I love this shit. I'm just gonna stay, and staying for ever. Like we were talking about, they sucker you in, making chief, They're like, oh, you got 18 years left? Like, oh, we'll give you chief now. And then you're like, well, I'm staying for high 3. And then end up now you're looking at like 22 years and like, well, I'll finish it off and go to higher tenure, which is what I did. I didn't want to make senior chief and get out at 24. So, it's they always play that game with recruitment, to keep people in. And then they're like, oh, well, we're paying these, the experts, the SMEs, the subject matter experts, all this money when we can bring all these new people in. But all of that training is being lost on everybody. All the old guys have retired. Like, I seen a lot of mass chiefs, like when the vaccine came out, they were like, we're done. Like, I'm putting in my paperwork right now to retire.
I was so happy I retired before any of that crap happened. The old Davy Jones got out of the Navy before that shit went to straight shit.
So I was still in when that happened. I waited to the very last fucking minute before I got in trouble when I went and got the vaccine, itself, and then went from there. So, but it's funny because as many as that we've had, it was like, really didn't do anything, but for everybody else, didn't have a chance because, in my opinion, the Navy probably has the best immune system people there are.
Probably. I would agree with that. They had the most trained doctors, to be honest. The best surgeons.
I mean, the Air Force comes close. I mean, they got some really good doctors that are very caring and they're pretty smart and they're specialized. But as a general overall, I think the Navy does really good. I mean, yeah, you got combat medics in the Army and the Marines and stuff, but when you get down in the Navy, like,
well, the combat medics for the jarheads are Navy. Plain simple.
well, yeah, that's true. It's like
that's fucking corpsmen right there.
Yeah,
and
it's
that's
like
why the corpsmen are so revered by the jarheads. They don't. You fuck with their doc, they're gonna fuck you up.
Well, and it's always funny because we talk about it's like, change your socks, drink some water, and take this 800 milligram ibuprofen. You're good. Get back on the line. But then you think about that, and you're not taking a lot of drugs for anything. Like, you're naturally healing your body. Like, you don't get the best diet either, but your body's still healing, but it breaks down very quickly in that environment.
Speaking of old sea stories, let's talk about how the fucking crossing the line, for shellback has become such. I mean, so fucking fucked up now. It's not even worth doing. In my opinion.
Yeah.
They took away all the fun shit that we could do. Now, well, Matt, Tate, you got that article?
I do. Hold on, let me
put it up here real quick.
Give me 1 second. I will put it up.
Because we'll tell people how it was in 97, 98, 97, 98
right.
versus 2002 when you guys crossed it later on. And again, you crossed it later on in your girl's career too.
Yeah. Can you see it there? Retired U.S. Navy veteran exposes the dark side of the shellback initiation. Harrowing tale of hazing, PTSD, and lifelong fallout. This is coming off the Gateway Pundit. This guy's story has been around though a few times because he did this interview back in 1997, and he went through in 89. And if you look at this article, they recorded it and stuff like this, right there, 1989.
Well, that's why he was a fucking PN3. And those guys he was a topsider.
Yeah.
And those guys are a bunch of pussies. Plain simple, I mean, because the Snipes, we was the toughest motherfuckers on the boat. Plain simple. But I mean, hell, we, like me and Rocky, we got beat with a fucking shillelagh. And people that don't know what a shillelagh is, it's fucking fire hoses cutting certain lengths. And they whip the fuck out of you with them. Plain simple.
They make them solid too.
Yeah. They scold them with seawater, right? Salt water. And them bitches hurt. But that article you bring up, didn't that guy pat his ass for that too? And they beat him harder?
Himself up and
because they found out he padded his ass with pillows or whatever, right? I mean, hell, remember after decon, because after decons were restored, we was on their way, all the trash from the galley, all the food shit waste, right? Dude, they would make sure that we'd be in the hottest fucking places, and they would we would dump it out to sea until after crossing the line. Get that bitch all raunchy and all that bullshit. We had to go through the tunnel.
Yeah.
That shit. Crawl through that shit.
The old trash chute, man.
Yeah. I mean, people fucking put hot sauce in your eyes, fucking, make you sit yolk on top of fucking, everything.
With that yolk, man, dude, the one night I was doing it, I went early in the morning and I knew the baker really well, the midnight baker. Actually, when you used to still cook on the shit and not just the pre-made shit that you get now, I went and got like probably 100 eggs from him. Like I was walking with like flats of eggs, and everybody's like, "Can I get some of those?" It's like, fuck no, you're not getting any of these. These are all mine. I wouldn't fucking, trade it up for them.
Fuck, hell, they used to make us hang off this fucking side of the fucking ship on the forecastle. They call fucking flipper.
Yeah, the old flipper joke.
We still did that in 2000 with you crossed it, when you came gold shellback along with us. But like 98, they had us really hanging off the side, didn't they, Rocky?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, and we wouldn't tie it up.
I had a lot of fun doing it. I thought it was pretty fun.
I did too. But
if you go into it with a good mindset, because it's a nautical tradition that isn't new to the United States Navy itself. It's been around sailing days forever. I couldn't give you the actual origin, but there's always traditions that happen out to sea because superstition and stuff like that, and it's a way to break up the monotony of sailing. And
it also made you worthy of when you die, entering Davy Jones' locker. Made you worthy of it.
Hey, you enter me locker because you become a shellback.
And then like Neptunus Rex, like all of those things. But then you look at the amount of people that actually sail compared to the population of the world. There's not a lot of sailors out there, man. And so that it's a big deal to a sailor to actually, get these accolades.
Yeah. It's probably less than 1% of the world population that could call themselves shellback.
Especially
or a gold shellback.
Yeah.
Hey, the rest be slimy wogs.
Because being Rocky, in 98, we became just regular shellbacks, dude. On the way to Persian Gulf again, we crossed it. You became gold shellbacks, but we was part of we didn't have to fucking do the set. We was part of the initiation process in 2000.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot to do with that. I think I was on watch.
Well, and like the female, that gets back to the females being on the board, right? They fucking hate it. They was complaining we was making say row your boat, in the fucking little thing, right? With the fucking paddles.
The job.
Seriously? I said, this ain't fucking nothing. But one of the women fucking pissed off the wrong fucking person. She was complaining the whole time, sexual harassment, and nobody was touching her, really. And I said, okay, you're going to use me sexual harassment? They took fucking hot sauce and fucking shoved up her ass.
That's the extreme one. That's where
that's part of the women, changing the culture of shipboard life.
Well, that was part of it because of it being some of it being extreme.
And they made certain people dress up as chicks too. Remember?
You would have the what was it, the wog?
Yep.
Oh, they called it wog. There was something wog show, like, oh, was it dinner show or something like that?
I can't remember everything on it.
I know it was like the dinner one. You remember like all of the like Davy Jones, Neptunus, right? Like the whole court would sit there and like they'd put on a dance.
Yep.
They put together a dance and songs and everything. It was like when we had wog fights. Remember, like down in CCS where like people were on like chains and stuff, and it was like, "This is my wog, dog. Let's go!" And you'd have to be on all four, and you'd have to.
Oh hell yeah! You had to crawl. And that sucked. crawling through at CCS, fucking
Oh yeah, that was a pain in the ass, man.
even up the ladder wells. Everyone knows how steep the fucking ladder wells are.
Yeah.
We had to be on all fours climbing up that bitch, and even on the fucking non-skid shit on the weather decks.
That's where I actually patted my knees at for that one. I was allowed to do that because I took the old seawater cooling insulation for the piping, that thick ass foam, and I put that around my knees. And that one was the one that was allowed.
Well, because
on the
the
weather.
captain at the time allowed that in 2000. See, in '98, the old Captain Carl, because we still 7th Fleet,
Yeah.
there was no padding allowed. Period.
But yeah, and you got to remember this is all West Coast too, because when I went to the East Coast, they're like they didn't do the ceremony like at all. We tried to do one. Everybody got their shellback cards out, and they were like, no, no. And they kept shooting it down, and they actually did the ceremony over the fucking 1MC and told the story while we were eating like lunch. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me right now.
Well, see, we did in 2002, after we left the Persian Gulf, after Operation Dirt Freedom went down to Seychelles, right?
Yeah.
The Laboon actually did a fucking cross the line ceremony.
Yeah.
But there was only maybe a handful of us that were shellbacks.
Well, we still did it that next year. You were already gone off the fight, and we did another ceremony going down, like I was telling you. And like they separated the officers from the enlisted because there were so many officers and there was few enlisted. I'm telling you what, the setup and breakdown that we had to do on that one was absolutely insane.
And that's you never separate the officers. They're the same pieces of shit.
Yeah, they separated them because there were so many of them. They were
crying. That's bullshit right there.
Like, oh, there's so many like enlisted that are mean, and you're like, oh. And then the officers there was like 5 or 6 officers that had crossed the line that was with that one, and they were trying to do their own ceremony, and it was like, this is absolute, because they tried to do it on the flight deck. Remember, we were 2-tiered on the 5 flight deck, and then down to the 952 deck.
But also fucking like the Laboon in 02, we had to tame it way the fuck down.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us, especially engineering, that was fucking shellbacks, we came from the West Coast. Even our MPA did. And the captain goes, now you fellas, I know how y'all do on the West Coast, but you got to tame it the way the fuck down. We're like, why? I mean, he tried to get to where we couldn't even set yoke with a motherfucker, make him set yoke.
Yeah.
Or call fucking Flipper, make it hang out and call Flipper. I'm like, what's wrong with that? Captain goes, well, it's degrading. I said, the whole point is to fucking belittle people so they become worthy of the fucking realm. That's the whole tradition of it.
Yeah. It was
it's
like
it lives in your soul. And I was like, Jesus Christ. And I looked at the MPA, I said, sir, this is fucked up. I said, why the fuck we even doing this? If we're not allowed to do half the shit that we supposed that me and you went through or shit.
Dave Jones, what did you find? I seen the program out.
Oh, dude, this was the one I did on the Lincoln when I was Davy Jones there. I was Davy Jones for it, so I had probably the most important part. It was the Pollywog talent contest.
Oh, that's right, the talent show. That's what it was. Yeah, the talent show.
And then you also get dumped in called the Wisdom of Truth. And then you also had some people had to kiss the fucking fat baby's belly.
Yeah, yep. Oh baby.
And that was always reserved for the baddest motherfucker on board too.
Yeah.
I was just happy I got to do it. It was fun. We had fun when we did it. We didn't make it too extreme because the Lincoln was such a political place. It was Me Too Central. I told my wife when I got there, I was like, man, this place is Me Too Central. What the heck? What's the hand doing there? Okay.
Just raise your hand like, hey, I want to talk now.
I don't know what that is.
What is like Sailor down here doing? He's down here. I don't know. He's at the bottom now. Why are you at the bottom?
Who, me?
Yeah. On my
I ain't at the bottom on my screen. I'm at the top fucking right.
Like on mine, you're at the bottom, like center.
Now I'm back at the left, top left.
Yeah, that's how we've been doing it. Why did you fucking what
I
switch?
didn't change anything. I
don't
swear to
even know
God,
what
I did
happened
not
right
fuck
there.
with anything.
Goddamn
Right.
sailors trying to fucking do shit.
Now I wanted to see if he would comment anymore, right? You know,
Yeah.
and fourth grade goes, haven't had Mickey's forever.
And I'm telling you, the hand grenades, boy.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. I
And
mean,
then you got the underneath the cap, man. You got those little like symbol phrases and stuff you're trying to figure out, and you're like, how am I gonna figure this out when I'm drunk as hell? Like, who puts this under here? It's like the original lock on your phone. You seen that app? Like, if you can't unlock the app, you're like too drunk. It's like, hey, read this. I don't know. You're too drunk, dude. You're drunk. Like, go ahead and just lay down, put your keys in the freezer, call it a day. You ain't going nowhere. You're like, but I couldn't even do it when I was sober.
Be fair,
but just,
my wife made me this, boys.
You're getting fed like on a real live stream. Look at that.
there you go.
She just gave me food, man. My wife is awesome. Awesome. I love this.
Like the next step is gonna be her feeding you while you're like on the live. Like you're gonna see a fork come across. Like,
Well, we did get Heidi on here too because fuck, I mean, she was baby too. Come on now.
Not as long. She just did one command where we met and then we got married and she got out.
well, that happens.
But she could bring a point of view of the woman point of view of the Navy too.
Oh, dude, like she worked with me the whole time. So, by the time that I left the Fife, I was a MA. She
Yeah.
stood 12-hour watches with me on the gates where we had to be sentries the whole time. We would switch from sentry to like the sentry that actually checks the cards to the cover officer with an M16 or a shotgun, right? And she stood that stuff without whining. So I had respect for her because she did not whine about what she had to do. She just did it. She didn't use the whole, I don't feel good, my hormones or whatever the fucking bullshit that happened back then. That probably still happens now. I don't know. But, I gained a lot of respect for her because she actually did a good job. She actually did what she was supposed to do. So she had a good work ethic. And she ended up being like the person when I got OC pepper sprayed to use pepper spraying batons. She was my partner when we went through that stuff. And she was tough as freaking nails, dude. Tough as nails. Like that shit hurt. And I got her through the whole thing. And then I did it after that because they just had her go first and then I went second. But we had a time period because we had to wait like 45 minutes to an hour so that we could both see what we were doing. But yeah, she's an awesome lady.
Well,
I still,
I think that's what's lost. I think that the true women that are in the military aren't praised enough that have those work ethics. You know what I mean? It's only the ones that are praised because they're the front runner, but they forget who the core of some of these women that are in there that work this hard.
I had a couple of MA1s that worked for me when I was a chief, and I'm sorry I'm not talking like Davy Jones. I have a hard time sometimes, but I had one girl, she was a hard charger, man. I said, hey, I need someone to do a poem. We're pulling into port right now. We got 3 days to get it done. She's like, I got it, chief. And she did it. I wanted all the first classes to work together to do it, right? Because I wanted them to learn teamwork and work as a mess like the chief mess was supposed to work. And, none of them would help. And eventually they caught on after I started saying, why in the hell are you guys not helping her? She's doing everything. So, you know what happened when we had a chance? We moved her into the LPO position. And she did a good job.
Mhm.
I left the boat, and guess what? She put on chief that next year.
Yep. Yep.
He put on chief. A bunch of my first classes from that ship put on chief, and they made chief the next year, and then just this year, 2 of them made senior chief.
Yeah.
But I had another first class that worked for me, and she was a good person. She was my brig LPO because I was the brig chief also. I was the chief of everything on that boat, and she made chief this year too. Took a little bit longer, but she made it, so I was proud of her. She called me, said, hey, I made chief. I said, I'm very freaking proud of you. Awesome. It's about time,
Yep.
but it's cool because they call and say, hey, thank you, Rocky. I made chief. Thank you for your leadership. And then, hey, man, it made me feel like gold because I actually did something that positively impacted their life.
That's the best feeling, because I had a female too that was on the boat, and they had sent her to sea school because they wanted to get rid of her because she was annoying. And I actually like met her finally, I was on the ship, and all she wanted to do was learn. That's all she wanted. Somebody to teach her, mechanical stuff. And when I started working with her one on one, she got to the point she was like, if you'd have been here a year ago, I probably wouldn't be leaving the Navy. And I taught her all kinds of, I made her get down there and get dirty to understand what was going on. I made her learn learn how to shim pumps and do alignments and tear downs and be the work center suit and learn these things. And the more she learned, the more she wanted to learn. And it was like, you run into those people, that want to learn. And a lot of times females get left out. There's also dudes too that do the same thing, like, I don't want to fucking do my time, don't want to learn anything. So you don't waste time on them. But you got people that want to learn. And these are the women that need to be talked about. It's not these, oh, look at me, I'm the first this. It's like, no, you get down to the grunts, man. The grunts are the ones that do the work. And it's like they don't get recognized enough. And those are good people. And women, that want to be equal do that work. They're not talked about. I had a captain in the Marines, and she went off about sexual harassment, dude, and not picking up that late night bar chick, because she had a really good friend that lost his career because of a false allegation. And she came out there and flat out told everybody, she's like, do not, as a dude, pick up these women. And she was a hardcore Marine captain, like female. Just went after the women that went after the false allegations, because she was like part of the Me Too movement before the Me Too movement started, that was legit, but then, downgraded the people that were making the false allegations and saying you're ruining, this movement of people that are really in trouble.
Well, yeah, because you see people get false allegations, they fucking lives are ruined, their careers are ruined. They did nothing wrong. The evidence comes out after fucking preliminary inquiry, investigation. I wasn't involved in those things, but I would end up being a part of it somehow, getting people involved. And you'd find out it was a lie. They didn't punish her. They didn't punish the girl that lied. So, then I didn't even know what the corporate world was doing, like on Wall Street, where they were like, don't go to meetings with girls, don't travel with them, don't do any of that stuff. I just was like, dude, I've got 4 kids, a wife, a family to feed, to take care of. This is the way we're living right now. I'm not risking anything for a female. Like, I'm going to do my job, but I'm going to have people in the office with me to be witnesses, because I'm not going to get caught up in a fucking lie.
Yep.
And
I had that exact same thing happen to me one time as LPO, because we were doing sweepers, simple shit, right?
yeah,
I had gotten onto this girl because she was just standing around talking. It was like, hey, this is our time to get everything cleaned up, dust the overhead, and we have to do it no matter what. And she started bawling. So she went to the chief at the time, and basically the whole thing was she wanted to get out of main 1 because she didn't like me. She wanted to go to main 2 for the people she enjoyed being around. So she threw this whole thing up, and chief was like, hey, we're just going to do it this way, because they were going to start talking about bringing up charges on me for like the toxic work environment, the the hostile work environment type stuff. And she was like, just let it go. And I was like, you know exactly damn well what this is going on with, is that she wants out of this space. And he was like, I know, but we're just going to work it this way.
that's where the Navy and the military and everyone's going to fail. They don't hold women accountable to the standard that they hold men accountable to.
Because
And
when we first got women, back when they started allowing women on the ships, right? We held them a fucking accountable.
Yeah.
I mean,
We
remember
held the same fucking standards as fucking a man. Plain and simple.
remember that one girl? She was like a seaman or a boatswain mate, and she kept on stealing other people's boots and clothes inside the female berthing, and they ended up kicking her out.
Yep.
I don't
Oh, yeah.
remember her name.
I don't
But-
remember her name either, but I remember who you're talking about. You know,
Yeah.
but we held to the same fucking standard. That's what today's Navy or military needs to do now. You don't lower the fucking standards for the females.
They got so many problems right now. If they don't start really doing equality and holding motherfuckers accountable, whether they're a guy or a fucking girl, they're going to have more problems because guys ain't going to join a military that is against them because they're a dude, and they're not going to fucking want to sign up to protect a country that hates them because they're a man.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's like, how do you expect us to be leaders when you don't give us the motherfucking authority to do it? I can't yell at someone when they fuck up. I can't yell at someone to save their life, to stop them from doing something dangerous because it's noisy. Like, give me a fucking break. And
Now,
they're going to have those problems for a long time unless they fucking just say, you know what? Hold everyone the same fucking way accountable. Period.
Now, some of the best women out there in the Navy, or was when we was in the Navy, first got into it, was in engineering, was Snipe. You know? And there were still some people, like, remember Ian, we had, what was her name? Malacar, Edgeman, Ian Wood.
It was Malacar.
Yeah, she was
you
old.
remember McCullum, right? Ian Wood McCullum fucking hated her.
Yeah, that motherfucker.
You know, and she did her fucking job. But women, like the engineering women, did not get the recognition as like topsider women did.
Yeah.
Because the topsiders, they are seen. What we do down the engine rooms or the engineering spaces, it's not seen. Play something. That's why we understand. That's why we're the rule of otherworlds.
Yeah, because it was bullshit. It was like, well, you're just doing your job.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, doing our job is to get this motherfucker underway and keep it going.
And just like, remember fucking, they was fucking, topsiders fuck was, remember fucking Owen, he was fucking Ian too at the time. That motherfucker shut off the chill water. So some spaces, some berthings. It's okay. Fuck you. You don't roast in that fucking berthing. We don't care.
And that was what was funny back in the day too, is like somebody fucking me, like we were talking about. I was like, oh, we'll go tag out your electrical system. We're gonna tag out your fan cool unit. It's gonna get hot in here. We got maintenance to do, you know, or like, tag out a chill water valve, like
or you could just show some fucking respect.
Yeah, exactly. Like we will ruin your day.
And the fucking the MSs, they was fucking with us. So we shut the fucking steam off to the fucking galley. Okay, how you go fucking cook your fucking food, motherfucker?
Yeah, it's like doing like the berthing steam heaters.
Yeah.
Get a hot shower, buddy.
You think you motherfuckers run the fucking boat, but it's the fucking snipes that run the fucking boat. Play simple.
I remember that one time, like OXO, remember when we were on water hours?
Yep.
And it's like, all right, everybody coming off the mid-watch, you got to be in the shower. I'm going to turn this thing on at like 12:05, 00:05. And all of us stand in the shower, dude, like butt naked, waiting for the water to come on. Like, hey guys, like shower curtains are open because we're getting ready to do boot camp style, like rotation. He's like, I give you 15 minutes worth of water. And we're like, okay, just stand there waiting for it. And it comes on, and you're like, oh, thank God. Quick. And everybody's like running to rotate through to get it done.
Also, but one thing, there was one time we was on water hours. This is before you got there, little tape. We set up a shower in May too. I don't know, Rocky, you probably remember this. We set up our old shower from the feed water fucking tank.
Dangerous as hell with the chemicals in there.
Hey, but we would come up smelling good, and all the topsiders, they were pissed off at us like, hey, motherfucker, we make the fucking water. Come on,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, exactly.
And that shit was hotter than hell, I'll tell you that much. That shit was fucking hot.
Oh man, that was hilarious. Well, ours was cold as hell because it hadn't been running.
Yep.
Because like a lot of people don't realize, like on that ship, is that boiler water, feed water is the most important thing to keep on there. Yep. So your water for a shower is secondary. Like it doesn't matter. Like we don't have enough water for the boilers. fuck off. You ain't taking a shower. You might as well get some baby wipes out, rub your ass down, your balls, and your armpits, and then go on about your business.
But the fucking snipes, we have to fucking shower because we're dealing with so much fucking fuel, fucking oil, everything.
I
We
think
have
that,
to shower. The topsiders, they don't deal with that shit like we have to do.
no.
You know, they can stay dirty, you know, and smell. With the snipes, that's where you start getting infections if the snipes ain't fucking clean.
Oh, it's a sanitary thing. It's sanitary and safety.
Yeah. And the bosun mates would fucking live in the bosun locker anyway, or they'd be back in the aft bosun locker, like old Hunt sewing up fucking shit.
Fucking decades or deck monkeys, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, they're running around.
Yeah.
I think they were the closest to us as engineers that worked the hardest. Like you didn't mess with the bosun mates, you didn't mess with the engineers.
Oh, we always fucked with the bosun mates because hell, I remember in Japan we had fucking Royal Rumble fucking birthing fucking shit
Birthing
going
wars. Birthing wars.
between fucking bosun mates and fucking engineering. And then the fucking supply, MSs and all them, SKs and all the shit, they thought, okay, they could take both of us at the same fucking time. Well, this is one of the only times on the ship that the fucking bosun mates and engineers fucking came together. Real, I mean, you know, instead of fighting each other, we whipped the fuck out supply.
Well, it's like combat trying to come up. They were in the lowest berthing underneath us. So every time they tried to do berthing wars, they were at the disadvantage because we were at both exits. Like, you ain't going nowhere. Where are you going?
And supply was right above us, right? So they thought, no, motherfuckers. And then here come deck two, like, boom. And there'd be motherfuckers hanging up, laying on the pipes and come down. I mean, like WWF style shit.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. You fall out of those pipes and hit somebody, you fall on that fucking steel deck, that fucking hurts.
Yeah, it definitely like dislocate his shoulder or hip, like
You know,
going down.
I mean, we was doing, you remember the bump fights, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
We was doing the bump fights before he got started, but it was just on the ship.
Yeah.
Well,
But that and it goes back to what we're talking about the article. It's like, you know, there's a point where there's like trauma bonding, but everybody associates trauma with like something bad. And it's like, no, it's not bad. It's like when you work together and get through these big things like firefighting training, you know, lube oil leaks, fire here, electrical fire there, trash can fire there. You know,
Fucking
those,
flooding in main one or flooding in 3 gen.
yeah, you know, 3 gen. Or
Oh, fuck. I mean,
remember the AFFF that went fucking off down there in the bilge sprinkling?
oh,
oh,
yeah.
yeah, I remember that.
It was so bad, and the next thing you know, like I'm like cutting through it like it's like a fucking snow wall. And they're like, "What are you doing? You're an AFFF. Like that shit's gonna like irritate your skin." I'm like, I don't notice anything yet.
Fuck, we cleaned the lower level of fucking main two with AFFF and main one. We
Oh
set it up on purpose to clean the bilges, clean everything
yeah,
off.
yeah,
And we just wade through it, fucking just suck it out with fucking inductor, everything.
yeah. That was like you get a permission to like flood. Like that was when the DC men would do their checks too. It was like, oh, we got this check on the book. It's like, okay, we're gonna use the hose nozzles. Let's dump them out. But then you forget like the hose nozzles, if they're set for long enough, what are the H2S that comes out of them, the hydrogen sulfide? And it's like that breakdown, like people don't realize that shit's deadly. And they're like, we're playing it, let's go have some fun.
Yeah. All right, but do we have any more stories?
I think we're out for what we've been talking about. I mean, we've got more than enough, but keeping on track with shits and giggles.
This is just a small, people, this is just a small sliver of what we're sharing.
I mean, probably, well, we could probably expand on the whole painting each other's coveralls thing.
Oh, fuck, yeah. I mean,
that's a funny one.
well, and that's when you realized, hey, I can have this motherfucker right here. Hey, he's just as fucking crazy as I am because I was the quiet motherfucker, right? You know, and he's like, okay, we can fucking joke around, okay.
You started it. You started it with Peyton me. I was like, what the fuck you doing?
And fucking Turbo fucking blamed you for
Oh yeah,
starting.
I got
Not me.
that. Well, you know what? As much as I was scared of getting in trouble, I was like, well, I don't care. He painted me too.
But in a way, you know, since I was the quiet one, he thought you started since you was the loud one.
Oh no, I'm not.
But he did. But he did call both of us fucking jackasses.
That was funny. I wonder if he's still around.
I don't know. I mean, I see him on Facebook. Said friend request ain't heard nothing, right? But hardly anybody has not heard from him. So who knows?
But well, and the funny thing was when we like put makeup on Gilly when he passed out one night, had to go to
I forgot about that at fucking Chad Daniel's house.
Yeah.
You know, people, I'm telling you right now, the military, never pass out, be the first one to pass the fuck out.
Yeah, we'll make it painful.
And I didn't realize they painted my fucking face, put makeup on me, right? I did not realize this shit.
That shit, we got in trouble for that too, because we did it to you.
Well, I remember fucking even get up in the morning, right? Brushing my fucking teeth, you know, at their place. I looked in the mirror, didn't even fucking dawn on me because I was so fucking drunk still.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God. Then we went to the fucking, because Chad, we was running fucking late like always.
Yeah, running late.
So we went through couldn't go through the main gate. They was closed for supper, so we had to go through the fucking side gate. You know, and they were fucking laughing. I'm like, what the motherfuckers laughing about? They got the coordinate. These motherfuckers are laughing. I'm like, okay. Then it dawned on me when I went down to fucking Berlin, you know, fucking get ready, looked in the fucking mirror. I was like, these motherfuckers, I said, Chad, fucking, I said, Lil fucking Tate. I said, you're dead. I'm gonna fucking kill you. I mean, they ran out of Berlin. I was chasing my fucking skivvies. I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I was gonna fucking kill them if I got a hold of them. I was like, ah.
The best part of that was too is watching the Divo and like Chief's face, like, you know, from the back, and then you're looking up front at everybody, and they're just like looking at you, like trying not to laugh and put out like
I
the
know.
and
But
shit.
that's the kind of shit we could do back then, and it was normal.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Well, and we like, and people forget, like they talk about Call of Duty teabagging. No, we did teabagging for real, because remember Chad got that shot of you, and we put it in the birthing assignment board.
Oh, I know. I know.
Thing to get it out. Like,
And that's where the gay jokes come in for the Navy all the time.
yeah, because I was the one taking the picture, and Chad was the one that was on top of your mouth with balls hanging out. We're like, yeah, we're gonna get this, and then we like pulled it off and threw it in that thing.
Oh yeah,
because that thing was always locked. That the battle plan, wasn't it? I think was what.
Yeah. Only the fucking birthing LPO had fucking key to that.
Yeah, yeah, we were able to get it behind it, like slam it down, and everybody's like, ah.
Well, if I remember right,
It was in the lounge, is where it was.
if I remember right, Rita fucking unlocked it for you, put it up there.
No, we were able, unless Chad did it, because I think Chad was the one that, or Leo put it up there, and I was like, it's in there, and everybody started, because everybody watching TV, after breakfast before the day started, so.
Oh yeah, I mean, but nowadays you couldn't do that shit nowadays.
Oh no, man. And that's part of what that guy said. It was like, there's everyday hazing, and it's like, oh my God, it's so terrible. You're gonna
just like peak bellies, right?
Oh yeah.
Everybody comes on board gets fucking peak belly.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember one time, I can't remember who it might have been Hodges, right? Because old little baby Sasquatch, because he had all fucking hair shooting out everywhere, right?
Okay.
Well, it sprayed him down, got him fucking down, opened the coveralls up, sprayed his belly with general purpose cleaner. And the only dustpan I could find, I said, fuck, I ain't using my hand, I'm gonna use a dustpan. I grabbed a metal one. And I hit him so fuck I cut his fucking belly. Cut him. And he went the fucking sick call. I'm like, fuck, I done fucked up here. Then HMs were trying to, what happened? And he didn't rat me out. He didn't rat nobody out at all.
No.
Just like fucking the put us on the monorail, then lighting our ass on fire and put it out in the dustpan.
Yep.
You know,
No,
that was an engineering tradition right there.
told me about that. Like when I first got there, Rocky was like, giving me shit about. I remember that he's like, "We're gonna tie your ass up to the monorail and put your ass out," and I was like, "The fuck is going on?" You remember there was a video they put out about this shit too, like the first 24 hours on a ship, and they used all the hazing and stuff on there. You're like, oh God. I think I've been part of every one of those you're talking about, and you're like, oh God, here we
Well,
go.
just like you get a new guy comes down the engine room, right? Okay, go up to fucking go get me a bucket of steam or something like that, right?
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck?
Give me a
You know?
key chest.
Oh yeah, you gotta go up to the EAL, for the key to sea chest. But there's one thing I can't remember exactly what the fuck it was, but we sent fucking McKeever or Diaz up there to the EAL. Urita was the EAL. I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't right, but it's kind of sexual in a way, right? And fucking next thing I know, fucking Urita's calling down there over to 7JV. Gilly, get your fucking ass up here. CCS now. I was like, oh fuck, here we go. And he goes, don't fucking do this to the fucking women. I was like, fuck, come on now. Or it was let me blow the EAL or something like that.
Yeah, there's like
Permission to blow the EAL or something like that.
to blow the E out. Yeah.
Yeah.
EAL's whistle or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I got my ass ate out for that one. But then later on when the girls left, they're like, well, that was pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
I'm like,
the difference was a lot of those girls that we worked with, they had a good sense of humor at the time. I don't know about you, but they had a pretty good sense of humor.
Well, they would give it back to us too, though, in a way. They would, we'd fuck with them, they'd fuck with us.
Yeah.
Because I remember one time I told him we was in Acapulco in 98. And I told Diaz, I said, hey, I can't speak a lick of fucking Spanish. I know the girls speak English, but I know you get further along if someone's my interpreter, right? My wingman, right? She goes, okay. Next thing I know, I'm waking up butt ass fucking naked on the fucking beach in Acapulco. Luckily, my clothes gone, my wallet was gone. Luckily, my ID, my credit cards was in the hotel. All I had on me was cash. Yeah. Fucking here comes Shore Patrol. I was like, oh fuck, here we go. Like, we're gonna take your fucking drunk ass back to bus. No, I'm going back to my hotel room. That's where my clothes are at, and that's where my fucking money, my ID's at. Walking through the hotel, all I heard was drunk America. I was, you goddamn right.
Bringing credit for the U.S. Navy around the world, baby.
And then when I started, finally telling like my brother some of the sea stories, right? What happened, right? He's like, ain't no wonder why fucking motherfuckers across the world fucking hate us, because you motherfuckers. I said, hey.
Goes all the way back to the Huns from the north, baby.
Exactly. I mean, the Navy back then, we was the modern day Vikings. We came in, we just fucking tore shit up, drank, fucked their women, anything.
Well, and that's the key thing. There was talk about, the U.S. Navy, has for the longest time protected trade routes throughout the world. So people forget about, not only are we off, shores, Middle East and stuff, but we're also running Indian Ocean, every ocean there is, we're patrolling like trade routes.
That's exactly right. There was a video today on Twitter. I don't know if I sent it to you guys, but it was talking about the U.S. Navy is the reason that we have world trade right now.
Yeah.
Trade and not as much piracy as there used to be because the Navy's out there doing their job.
I remember one time, this is in 2000. I know y'all remember this. We was fucking board ships. We was chasing the fucking #1 smuggler in the Persian Gulf that time. We caught his ass. Supposedly an international water, but Iran says it was in their water, right? Well, here comes fucking their patrol boats thinking they're going to fucking board us. And the captain's like, no, fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. Turned both 5 inches on their ass. And he did fire warning shots, and they fucking hauled ass. You know, but then you get into like Obama bullshit, right? Where he just you just let Iran board you, take our fucking ship. Fuck that.
Yeah. Here, I got one. I got one that I'm going to share, and this was the one I think that I sent out to you guys the yesterday. Hold on.
Because we are the rulers of the fucking sea.
So this is from Philip Labonte, which is the
That's
singer.
the one I saw. That's the video I saw right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is on Timcast, and it's talking about the Navy itself. So we'll break it down a little bit, but
U.S. has been the global hegemon that has kept the seas free for global trade for definitely the past 75 years. Some would argue for even longer. The U.S. Navy makes international trade much safer.
so you're seeing right there, somebody is acknowledging, the Navy outside of it. So, and he's going to continue on. So I'll finish out the clip.
That's why, whatever you think of the U.S. overall, just the fact that we have made the seas safe for international trade has made the United States a net positive for the world. No matter what else someone wants to criticize the U.S.
So you can see that, and everybody forgets, like, that we do it for everyone. You know what I mean? Like, they're not paying for our protection. We're protecting everybody. Whether it be Chinese, Indian, anybody that's shipping anything. With the Somalian pirates all those years back that we were patrolling, and everybody like the Captain Phillips video and all that stuff. With what happened with trade, there's a lot of money in trade, and in order to keep it going, we as the U.S. Navy have done the most patrolling. Most people only patrol their coastal waters. We're fucking patrolling international waters throughout the world. So
Well, we still patrol coastal waters, right? Even though that's supposed to be the Coast Guard job here in the United States.
that's the puddle jumper's job.
Yeah, but you look at what the fucking Coast Guard can't fucking do. They're not. They can't. They have to be with us when we do drug operations, chase drug smugglers.
Yep.
They have to be with fucking us.
So it's anybody that wants to talk a lot of shit, I think you need to find out what the Navy's really been doing for a long time.
Oh, there's so much stuff they're doing that no one has any idea about.
Right. That's where most of these stories come from.
Just like when we came up, the fucking Seventh Special Seventh Fleet. The motto was you work hard and you play even harder because tomorrow's not guaranteed. Plain and simple. And we kept that on the West Coast, from Japan all the way to ever Washington. And then we, instilled that in you too, little Tate.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was 100%. Like, that was the whole thing. It's like you worked as hard as you did and you played just as hard.
And nobody said a fucking word the next day with engineering. Well, majority of engineering was either hungover or still fucking drunk, get underway for seat anchor detail.
Man,
even the ELs and pack operators were either hungover or still fucking drunk.
I took a ship out of port on the pack, still drunk, because the VBS, the voyage system itself on the bridge wasn't working. So I literally took manual control of the, CRP, the pitch control, the propeller, and the engines, and literally drove the ship out of port without seeing anything, like in the middle of Central. It was like, just taking speed and bell commands with the tug and took it out to sea. And you're like, so when we talk about who runs the ship, it's like, you don't go anywhere without us. Like, all I need is a lookout to tell me where I need to go, port or starboard, and what speed I need to go, and I can drive you out. I can drive you out of port without seeing anything.
And I remember one time we was fucking this was 97, 98. Chief Turbo was the EL. And the fucking guys on the bridge were fucking up. He goes, I'm gonna teach these motherfuckers a lesson right fucking now. He took fucking control of everything. Told back upper, you take their control away now. And we took control away from everything.
Yeah.
It pissed him off. The captain came down there, and Chief Turbo goes, no. Your fucking guys on the bridge need to learn to do their fucking jobs. He said, "Oh, we're going to take control of our fucking equipment again." You know, but then it all comes down to training. You was able to do that bullshit because of how well you was trained. No matter if you was still drunk or hungover, what.
Yeah, it's like innate. It's like anybody that knows how to run a rifle. You get muscle memory and you know the training and what you need to do in a battle situation. And that's another area that everybody's losing, man, that is not being trained properly. Everybody wants to do this DEI, politically correct, because believe it or not, the Navy is the first one on board with society. Like, we test shit with the Navy for the military first. Like, believe it or not, that we're the fucking scapegoat to test the shit out from society. And that's why you see what's in there right now. We're always on this, got your finger on the pulse of society, and the Navy does it. And you're like, holy fuck. Because I remember the captain had to give the brief on transgender. Like, he was the only one that could give the brief on it. And this was during the Trump administration.
Yeah, this was in 2017, 2018. I remember that shit.
Yeah, it was like we had to sit down one on one, and he was the only one that could give that brief.
I remember I asked questions and made them all mad.
Yeah.
It's,
And we're all sitting there like, okay, what are we talking about? Like, why are we talking about, surgeries and who's paying for what and da 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 da? Because all of us know that for as long as I've been in there, there's always been guys that were gay in any branch, right? The thing is that every one of them that I ran into in the Navy was always respectful except for one of them. So the misconception is gay guys in the bathroom or in the head are gonna watch you shower. I knew all the gay guys and they didn't watch any of us shower. They did their thing and they went on and there was, you know what I mean? Like there was no issues. So
from my point of view, I was just like, I don't care what you want to have sex with. If you want to have sex with a tree or a giraffe or an elephant, I don't give a fuck.
yeah,
Do your job and keep that shit. Be professional. Keep that stuff, the personal stuff, out of the workspace.
yeah.
We have a job to do, and I don't want distractions. I've got guys that are carrying 9mm and 16s and fucking shotguns and shit like that. I don't need someone to do something bad and cause everybody to lose their jobs.
Well, I remember fucking we was still with Yoko. We was out in Hodge. This was 97 still. There was one seaman that came back to boat bragging that he got butt fucked by a transvestite in Japan in Hodge at one of the Bobby drink bars. And I told us, dude, don't be saying that shit. I said, that's gonna get you kicked the fuck out because that's back then, don't ask, don't tell bullshit.
Right. That was don't ask, don't tell. So no one asked and no one told him.
I said, no one gives a fuck if you got butt fucked. No one cares. Keep that shit to your fucking self. Plain and simple.
Well, and that's where I think like the hypocrisy came from. That is like we didn't care what they were going on, but we would tell stories about all the chicks that we, fucked and shit. So it was like, you know what I mean? Like it's both sides, and I'm not advocating for any of it. It's just like just don't tell me about what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like everybody be the same. Because I know that I went to a bar in Hillcrest, a gay bar, and I met a ton of Navy dudes there. And none of them were disrespectful. They knew that I was hetero, like immediately. As soon as I started talking to them, they were like, "You're married, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm married to a woman." And they're like, "Cool, let's have some fun." So we were fucking with chicks that were hiding in a gay bar. So, straight women were hiding in a gay bar so they didn't get hit on. So the gay dudes, this guy, we went and fucked with him. Like he wanted to have fun kicking these women out because they were in their own space. And it's like these women were getting in their space. Most respectful guys I ever met in the Navy, things like that. But they didn't talk about any of that shit even in the bar. And this was back in 2011. You know what I mean? They were just like big dudes, buff dudes, just like hanging out, man. It's like we didn't tell stories.
And that reminds me of 2000. You was with me, little Tate. This was Townsville. We drank with these fucking Aussie chicks. And, of course, back then, I was a hell of a lot fucking buffer than I am now. You
Yeah.
know? And first thing they asked me, "Are you gay?" I'm like, "No. Why?" They're like, "Well, because all the guys that have muscles here, most of the guys that here in Australia have muscles like you are gay." I said, "Sweetheart, I ain't fucking gay." I said, "I'll take you right now to the bathroom and I'll fucking show you."
Oh my God.
And those are the ones that fucking got me so fucked up coming out of that fucking strip club too. That fucking I thought I was on the fucking sidewalk while I was in the middle of the fucking road. And that's when the cops came trying to get me on the fucking sidewalk. I was like, I'm on the fucking sidewalk. That's how fucked up I was. And that's what I learned. Never try to out drink an Australian woman. Right there.
Oh,
You know?
Australia was a lot of fun. There's like what 20 stories there.
Oh fuck yeah. It was just like, and I remember talking about the gay guys, right? Remember in Portland? We pulled in there for the Rose Festival, right?
Yeah.
Remember it's me. I think you was with us. Hatch was with us. We went to this one bar. You
Oh
might
no,
not have been with us.
the Rose Festival with you guys. We went down to Astoria, but we didn't. I wasn't there for that.
Oh, you wasn't there for the Rose Festival? Okay.
That was when you guys were coming back from Yoko.
But fucking is that this one bar? You know, drinking. We didn't know it was a gay bar. You know, they didn't say a word, right? We just walked in there, fucking started drinking. Next thing I know, this fucking guy goes, start feeling my fucking arms. He said, "I like your muscles." I said, "Dude, don't fucking touch me again." He kept on. Then they grabbed my fucking pec, one of my pecs, right? And I turned around and I knocked the shit out of him. And fucking, they're like, "We gotta get the fuck out of here now." I said, "Why?" "Because you just knocked the fuck out of a fucking gay motherfucker, so that's gonna be a hate crime." I said, "I told that motherfucker to leave me the fuck alone."
Yeah.
And that's when I knew that Portland, Oregon had fucking more gays than Frisco did. Because we've been to Frisco quite a few fucking times and never once got hit on by the gays.
No, no.
But we also stayed away from Polk Street in fucking Frisco too.
Yeah, well, I mean, like you're saying, like the stories that are out there and making jokes, but it's like, everybody was like respectful to each other back in the day. I mean, yeah, we might have hazed each other and fucking played around, but everybody respected each other. We were saying earlier, like I was saying earlier, like we were treated like adults. You like Rocky saying, held to accountability. You're 18, you sign the fucking line, and you're an adult. You get fucked up, you ruin it, that's it. So, I don't know why we've turned into this, like gotta babysit everybody. Like,
I don't know, man. I don't know because, when we were young, me and Gilly, nobody fucking micromanaged us. We went to work, we got off, we did our shit, we didn't get in fucking trouble, and then we went back and did our work again. And now you got like, I don't know. It's weird. It's like we've let everybody lose their agency to make choices. You make a choice, you deal with the consequences. That's what it needs to come back to. And you can't sit there and blame someone else for stupid shit you do.
I know everything I did in the military. Every time I got in trouble, I didn't blame no one else for it. I took responsibility. Okay, yeah, I did this. Yes.
no.
If they asked me why I did it, I told them why I did it.
I think,
Whether it's right or wrong, right?
Yeah.
I told them.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's definitely got stories of, like leaders themselves of like not really covering our asses, but like taking a blame for, like something you fucked up, working on or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I took the blame. And this is a Bell Laboon kid. He was in your situation, little Tate, when you came on the five, right? Want to learn his job and all that. Okay. I'm gonna teach you how to do manual fuel control. Change it out. Well, you know how if you don't do it right, you fuck them up, right? That's back then. It was $50,000 down the fucking drain, and he fucked it up. Okay. Well, I asked myself, what did you learn from this? He said, not do it like that. I said, exactly. So let's go get another one. Put it in. And the senior chief came down there and started ripping out. I said, no, hold on, senior. I said, anybody, you chew my ass out, because he was the one that said the mask. I said, no, you said me the fucking mask, because I'm his fucking supervisor. I'm the one teaching him. I said, don't fuck this kid's career up because you got a fucking ego. You know, no. You go after the fucking people that's teaching them, not how they fuck up. I said, if we fire him right now, he ain't gonna want to stay in the Navy. Plain simple.
He ain't gonna want to do anything either.
I
He's
said,
gonna try and get out of it.
when I was brought up in the Navy, yeah, I made my mistakes, right? The chiefs, officers, they didn't once try to fry me for it. They asked me, what did you learn from that? I said, that's the most important question that you have to ask. What did that kid learn from that?
Yeah.
Not to make that same mistake again.
Yeah.
And that's where I think the leadership on the, like, from West Coast to East Coast fucking failed. That was in the early 2000s.
Yeah. Yeah, it's coming down to leadership, man. I mean,
well, it's all those people that we already left behind that are the leaders now that are making the mistakes.
Yeah.
Because we kept on we started listening to people that had no life experience, no experience in the Navy, try to tell us how to run the fucking Navy. I'm like, no, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
So,
and the worst ones was always the fucking officers coming out of Annapolis. Those were the worst ones I came across right there.
Yeah, that's been brought up now too, that, you know, the officers that are coming out are being taught these, you know, studies themselves, you know, socioeconomic type studies. And you're like, dude, everybody's from different backgrounds, different areas. They were brought up different, but, you know, a lot, like we were talking about when we came in, we worked our asses off. You know, we worked for what we had. You know, that was the mentality, and that ran the Navy back in those days like smoothly. You know, it wasn't perfect. I mean, nothing's going to be perfect, but, you know, like you were saying earlier, fuck, we would, you know, come in on the weekend and then be right back out, or come in during the week, refuel, and go back out during the weekend. Like, they kept your sea bag packed and your fucking rack packed, man.
That was our fucking job. That was our job.
Yep, 100%. That was the job we signed up for. If you didn't want to stay, you could leave. Simple as that. You got your college after 4 years. You didn't stay. Nobody has to stay. You know, I mean, there was a stop loss, but for the most part, you know, you were volunteered for this shit.
At one point, we all re-enlisted at one fucking point. And Rocky, he surprised out me when he re-enlisted.
Me too.
Because I remember Rocky down the injury. Fuck this place. I hate the fucking Navy. You know.
Hey, bitch and sailor is a happy sailor. All right.
it was just like I was not ready to get out yet. I prayed about it and all that stuff, and I was like, you know what? I think I need to stay in. And the fact that I stayed in, immediately I leave the command, I go to MAA school. Actually, I go to MAA school. As I end MAA school, I re-enlist for 3 years because I extended when I was on the 5. And then about a month later, after I get to the command, I go to Nav Lead. About the week after I get done with Nav Lead, which was like in August, it had right before the first class test in September, I meet my wife, the girl who would become my wife. So I guess that's why it kind of happened that way. Pretty interesting, but you know, yeah. Well, let's end this on a good note, boys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed this episode more than some of the other ones. So.
And remember to subscribe and like. Thank you and goodbye.
Yep. And comment whenever you got a chance. You know, throw whatever you want in there. We'll watch it and we'll get back on it every time. So all I say is good night from the Chief Walter here.
Good night from Gilly the Sailor.